All right, we're back. We're gay. We're talking about Path of Exile 2. As per usual, I got my well-compensated co-star, Archive Esoterica here.
He doesn't
Um,
pay me.
so let's just ignore that. Um, First question right off the bat: shape, size, or count in Atziri's case?
Shape.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I have to agree.
Yeah. Shape's more
100%.
important than anything,
Yeah.
really.
So, how you been enjoying the 0.5 league?
Runes of Alder. Um, Honestly, it's been fantastic. I kind of knew going into it with everything that we had seen and everything we were talking about. I knew that it was going to be the most time I ever put into a Path of Exile league. Uh, I was like, I've been a Path of Exile fan enough that I feel like I can hold a conversation with someone else who's a Path of Exile fan, but this was the first league that really, really got me. Like, I've done like maybe like slash when you do like slash played, I've maybe gotten like 3 or 4 days on a character. I'm up to I think I'm up to day 8 on my monk, so I've pretty much doubled my total play time on one character compared to any other league I've ever done. So clearly it's very good.
Yeah, no, I have a. I see. I back in 0.3, I had the opinion that it was better than Path of Exile 1, and I think that I really realized that whenever I re-downloaded PoE 1 for the first time in forever. And this is just, I mean, my opinion. But I re-downloaded PoE 1, and I had thought that we had played PoE 1 before, right? We have. We've played PoE 1 before. But looking at the characters, I realized that we had never played PoE 1 before. I mean, maybe you have, maybe you stuck with it for longer, but I looked at my character levels and I swear, like looking back, like, oh, I played a whole league. Looked at my character levels. One league, I got to level 81. And now, after playing 0.3 and I skipped 0.4 kind of, but 0.5, I realized that when you're really talking about playing a league, that is the scratching of the surface.
Yeah.
Um, and my other character was like 93, and I was like, or 91, and I was like, that's better. But 96 is kind of where I get to with most of my characters, and it's not because I stopped playing after I hit 96. It's because I just start dying and losing XP, and then it just becomes annoying and it takes far too long. But I've also realized that I've played even more of this league than 0.3 as well, and by a significant amount, and it wasn't even on purpose. I had thought that, like, I have a battery for these, kind of games. Eventually it'll run out. But I think the girth maxing of this league has has really shown its colors in the fact that I have now a second character up there, which I pretty much never have made a second character and actually got it all the way to endgame. Um, but now I'm cresting on like I think I'm level 79, about to turn level 80, but that's just because I just got out of the interludes today because the character's progress is kind of slowed down by four manning at some points. But now that it's in the end game, I kind of have it in my hands. I leveled up like 10 times today. And my first character is level 96 with probably a little bit more slash played than my 0.3 character. Yeah, there's just a lot to do. There's a lot to do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if going forward that this is one of the highest player retention patches in PoE2 history, and I think like I don't think that next patch is going to be the same. Like because people will have experienced it all for the first time at that point if they played 0.5 and they'll be like, "Yeah, I did every single league because they were all reworked and new. But I'm probably not going to do Temple next league. I'm probably not going to do X, Y, and Z next league," I think is what a lot of people are thinking. But pretty much everyone, especially in like content creator spaces, podcast spaces, everyone who's really talked about it has said they've maxed out every tree, they've done every pinnacle, they've done it all. And I don't think that it's going to be like that next patch either, or yeah, not either.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the next you're saying like the next two patches, like the mini patches, like the mini leagues?
I mean, even 1.0, it depends on like how much they would add with 1.0, but like if I had to spitball on speculation for 1.0, I would say like swords are going to come out because people are obsessed with swords. So if swords are coming out, I think that also means gladiator is coming out. Um, or he's called duelist in PoE 1, but like the PoE 2 art book says gladiator, so I don't know, whatever. He'll
Yeah.
come out, swords will come out, Acts 5 and 6 will come out, but like how much endgame is actually slated for Act or 1.0, I'm not entirely sure. So if it's relatively the same, I can see people's endgame playtime on average being lower.
Yeah, I mean, so they said that 1.0, like the devs themselves said the 1.0 would be larger. I don't even know how they're going to do that. I mean, like that would just be an incredible feat considering what we've gotten this league. I know Acts 5 and 6 are coming, so our time in the campaign will probably be a little longer, unless they're very similar length to like the combination of the three interludes. Um, and then obviously we're probably going to have more classes when 1.0 comes out, and then yeah, I mean whatever else they add to actually make that happen, where they said that it's going to be larger than 0.5. I just think that
I know
that's
they've
insane.
Yeah, I know they've also talked about the devs themselves in some interviews have talked about how like Ultimatum and Sanctum are not in a good place. So, Trial of Chaos, Trial of Sekima, they're like fine-ish for like actually getting your points, but they're both relatively obsolete in terms of like late game farming. There's some like niche stuff with Sekima where if you really want to be like a hardcore Sekima player, there are you can sell time lost jewels, and then like your big ticket payout if you're like a real hardcore Sekima grinder is the Temporalis, which is like a default mirror tier item right now as a unique. So I mean that's kind of cool, but there's also like almost no reason to ever farm trials, especially chaos, because it drops like soul cores, but then they made they made temple drop soul cores, so you can get more soul cores just setting up like a soul core temple than you will running trial of chaos, and you'll probably have more fun doing it too
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree those need some work. I'm thinking in a podcast in the future, one of the future episodes that are during one of the mini leagues, assuming that the update doesn't come out for those during the mini leagues, which honestly it wouldn't surprise me because they probably want those things to be in shape before 1.0 hits. So either they would be coming in the mini leagues with like the mini resets, or they would be coming in, the changes in 1.0. I would imagine they're not going to be later than 1.0. They like I said, I would imagine if I were them, I would want all of those ascendancy trials, like all the different kinds of them. I would want the third one to be in the game, and I would want all three of them to be like up to par with how players want them to be and how fun they should be, considering they're optional, but like they are kind of required. Like our friend was saying, like, do I
Yeah.
have to do this? And I was like, well, you'd kind of be missing out on like a core pillar of your character's progression and power. And the game will be hard, if not impossible, for you depending on your build if you just decide not to do your ascendancy.
Oh yeah. I mean, you literally some ascendancy breakpoints can literally like double your character's power.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, is it required? Mm, no. But is it
You
basically
could ignore
mandatory
them.
still? Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh my
Uh,
god, it's Superman. I could see myself. It'd be miserable, but I could see myself playing my my frost shot Deadeye without my ascendancy points. I mean, I would be losing a significant amount of damage in quality of life. But I'm doing this plant build right now, and I'm Oracle. I could not
Yeah.
play the game without the ascendancy points. Like half of
Yeah,
my
are
skill
you
tree,
using the unseen paths?
yeah, half of my skill tree, like
Yeah.
all my damage nodes are in the unseen path, and then on top of that, a way you get a bunch of the notables that you want to save points by not having to like specifically use travel nodes to those things. You get the other two nodes that come after the unseen path, which basically make it so that you know those like large nodes that are like larger than notables. Um, if you have those
Keystone?
selected, yeah, keystones. There's a circle around every keystone, kind of like a jewel.
Controlled
Um,
metamorphosis.
yeah, and you basically get to click any node without traveling to it that's within the radius of that. So sometimes with that build, you click a keystone that you don't even want to take like 3 notables that are in its like radius because it
Yeah.
saves you like 20 levels worth of traveling, but you still really want those powerful notables. Um, so yeah, the build literally could not be played without it. And then also it's like all based on crit, and then you get the guaranteed crits. The crits are inevitable. So
Yeah.
that would just the build just wouldn't exist if I didn't go my ascendancy. Um, which
Seems
is
kind of mandatory.
yeah, and I do feel like in a way that is partially because there's a big conversation going around right now where the old ascendancies are just like plus some power, and some of the newish ascendancies, pretty much everything after like druid was added with shaman and oracle coming to the game, um where they're like super game changing, and like without those ascendancies fully change the way that you play the game, like all the
Yeah.
new ones that are coming out, and
Enable
the
builds
old
that would
ones are
like
just
literally
like
be impossible.
plus some damage, like you take this to have some
Yeah.
more damage or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling it. Um so we go through the campaign. How did you feel about the campaign improvements?
I mean, I feel like the only one that I can fully recall from memory was that the Mathland waterways was a lot less dreadful. Honestly, the
Yeah.
Act 1 and 2 ones, like okay, the Freythorn, or sorry, the hunting grounds ritual that points you to Freythorn, convenient, pretty good. The road sign that points you to Ogum Village, it's cute, but like if you've played the game before, you know that when you follow the road, it leads you to Ogum Village anyway. So all you're looking for is the road.
Yeah.
Um, so like it doesn't effectively do anything, but like all of the campaign improvements, they weren't. I felt like some of them were a little bit too subtle. Like, and I don't want like yellow paint on the wall that says "Go here." But like for like what's I think a really good example from the Act 1 is they added this little line of dialogue when you are in, this is how you, I haven't played enough Path of Exile 2 yet because I don't know every single zone name in the game.
That's true.
That's a problem.
That is true.
That is, I need to fix that.
What is
But
wrong with you?
the forest where the Tree of Souls is that Sin is hanging on in Act 1, it's like one of the first areas you
Like
fucking go to, and I can't.
Nightfall? Is it?
Uh,
I don't remember. But
comments will call us stupid. Um, that area, the one that leads to the Grim Tangle, there's like some mushrooms on the ground and stuff, and they're like really small, and they lead towards the Grim Tangle, and then they also added a line where your character goes like, "I've never seen mushrooms in this forest before."
yeah,
Or some like variation of that, basically calling out like, "Hey, mushrooms, you should check around this area for your next zone." Um, I feel like in my experience, it helped a little bit, but I've also still seen a lot of people just struggle to find the Grim Tangle because their character says that and they're like, cool, there's some mushrooms. And it might not even be like immediately obvious that the game is saying like, hey, it's in this general area. But some of the other ones like following the river always takes you to, I just don't know fucking anything about this game. Oh, the Red
That's
Veil,
true.
that's what it's called. The fucking following the river in the same zone always leads you to the Red Veil. That's a super dope one. Anytime I get to the left side of the forest and I see the river, I'm like, okay, I can just follow it to the Red Veil. Bada boom, bada bang. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, they're good, but like I don't know if I could tell you a single one in Act 2. Like, I mean, there are some like legitimate changes, like the Valley of the Titans, where when you click the seal, it just gives you a portal back to the start of the zone, basically. That's
Yeah,
useful, but that's not like a clue. That's just like a redesign of the zone. So that's cool. And Mathland Waterways, that's also cool.
with the pressure
But I
pads.
think I think other than like the river that leads to the Red Veil, uh is there another hint in the game that's like pretty cool?
I mean,
I guess there's the merchants in the jungle ruins at the start of Act 3 that when you save their camp and you talk to them, they're like the infested barons, I think it's called. I don't know. It's over there, and it just marks it on your map. Like so, like oh,
yeah.
that's cool. Um,
Um,
they're good.
there was the there's like the abyss crack that leads to the entrance of the Well of Souls. There's
Yeah,
specifically in
the
Act Two,
lightless
what you were
passage.
saying. There's like I noticed it on the second playthrough. I think on the first playthrough we were just blasting, so we were just running around anyway. But I was playing with Sean and Haley on whenever I got to Act Two on the second character, and I was actually like noticing and like actively telling them like, hey, there's a lot of snakes over here. We do have to kill the snake lady. Ooh. And then like that
Yeah,
led us there. On the second playthrough, I also noticed whenever like the singing wherever you are. I think this is actually in what she's in the interludes, right? The mermaid, or is she in Act 3 or
she is in
4?
the interludes.
Yeah, but you can hear her singing throughout the entire map. So you just kind of like headphone gap. If you're wearing headphones, you're kind of like walk in that direction. Um,
Yeah.
there's there's like the papers that are
Oh, on the wall. Yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah,
wall in
yeah.
that
In
one
Trader's
inside area.
Passage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Trader's Passage in Act 2. You can follow it to Balbala. Yeah, that's
But
another one.
yeah, there were some pretty cool ones. I noticed them more the second time. I imagine players will realize them more the third and fourth time. But I do
Yeah.
agree that some of them were kind of like I agree. Like I don't want the yellow paint, and maybe it's just because I came at this direction or at this area from like the wrong direction. Maybe I came from like the left side when the game expects you to come from the right side. But with specifically when you're talking about like the mushrooms being on your screen and your character does a voice line, I swear the way that Jonathan said it was going to work was like, oh, you might see mushrooms and then walk in the direction of more mushrooms. But I, I don't. Whenever I saw a mushroom, the door was basically on my screen anyway. Like they put some mushrooms around the door, and then like
Yeah.
around like the nearest tree to the door, and then that was it. At least what I saw. So like
Yeah,
by the
you were
time I
expecting
saw
like a
any
little trail.
mushroom, yeah, I expected to see like, oh, maybe there's one mushroom. It's like, oh, maybe I go in that direction. Then I'll see like two, a bundle of three or whatever. Not like,
Yeah.
exactly linear like that. Like, but um, yeah, I expected that, but they were just kind of like right by the door, and I was like, okay, well the door's on my screen. Yeah, I know this is where I'm supposed to go now. Um, I think maybe also because they made these changes and like talked about them, I kind of realized maybe some that were already in the game. I'm not sure if this was in the game before, but the a lot of places that have like paths or like walkways or roads, I kind of just followed them and they led me to a door or a boss every time. And I don't know if these were new things that weren't there before or not, but yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
it
if you
did
just got
make everything more fluid.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
no, I mean that's fair. Like I feel like some mix of we're doing campaign for the third or fourth time. Third for me, I think fourth, fifth, I don't know for you. But we're doing campaign again, so we're gonna be faster because we're getting better at it. And now there's also all these like things to look out for that you just know right away. Like, okay, I don't even have to like for example, I can't remember the fucking forest name. It's pissing me off. But yeah, in the forest, the second you find the river, you're like, okay, well, I just follow the river down for the red veil. I'll always find it. Second you find the papers in Trader's Passage, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna follow it. There you go. Balbala found. There's just a lot of things that like if you know to look for them, you see them, and you're like, this eliminates all searching the area. Like we're good. I'm just gonna go there.
yeah,
Um, so that's really good for like speed. I could see like average Joes who are very, you know, dedicated to Path of Exile getting like 10-hour campaigns pretty easily without having to be like too sweaty.
yeah.
Just knowing where to look.
And I mean, I definitely think the doing a ritual pointing to the other rituals made um what's that area where you do them in the campaign? Made them
Thorn?
yeah, Freythorn made Freythorn much less awful. Um
Yeah, I mean to be fair, that one really is kind of like purple paint, but
yeah. Which
it's nice.
hey, I like it. Um
Yeah.
Pharaoh Pharaoh's Alder, like his quest line in the campaign was very annoying and I was going to bring it up on the podcast, but we just waited with the podcast long enough and they fixed it. On my second character
Yeah.
going through, literally it's like already revealed on the map and there's like the quest marker above the area um, on the
Yeah,
actual map already whenever
he
you
like
before
dings a
you
little
enter the
fork
area.
and then it's just on your map. Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so that was
I, I
very nice.
probably I probably would have been a little contrarian with that because I have some slightly different like game design takes. I don't care that he does that. Think, good for them. Good for everyone who, doesn't want to deal with that in the future and whatnot. Um which I wonder how they'll do recipes in the future. It might just be locked behind expeditions because they were clear in the dev interview that after this league, Pharaoh won't be in the campaign at all
Oh my
anymore.
god.
So there won't be like Pharaoh's quest line is not going to be like a campaign thing going forward. Like every campaign's going to have that. I think I'm 99% sure after 0.5 he just won't be in the campaign, which I hope that they keep all of the zones and whatnot and just make them found on like the expedition islands because I thought the lore was cool. I thought the zones that you find the recipes like looked cool. Um all that kind of stuff. I enjoyed his quest for the most part. I think we missed like we didn't complete on our first characters. We didn't complete act 3s all the way. I noticed it fell through the cracks when we were blasting, but I think we both went back individually and got it.
Yeah.
I only had like two steps of the quest missing. It really wasn't, too bad, too hard to go back and get it. But yeah. Yeah.
I only really had one step of the quest, and it was probably like the least important one was the one where you up uniques, which is like okay, but like
It's
yeah,
it
it was like
I thought that
weird
was
coming up
going
on
to
it.
matter so much.
Yeah, it just ended up not.
It
It's I
sucks.
think it's just a part of the fact that they just need to improve uniques across the board. Like
Yeah.
even upping them in these cases is like not enough because I feel like with
Yeah, because
most of them, it's just like you up them, increases their level and
yeah.
increases like the base like
Yeah.
defenses or damage that they give. and then it doesn't increase the modifier value, which I was like,
Exactly.
isn't that
Yeah.
the point? Like, isn't that everyone
Yeah, you
thought that
pick
that's what it
you
was going to be?
you pick up this steaming pile of
And
shit,
it's not.
this like unique weapon that does like 10 to 17 damage, and then you can rune forge it, and then it'll do 40 to 70.
Whoa.
At end game, like what, like genuinely, what the fuck are we talking about? There's like literally an example of that. There's like it's the spear, I forget what it's called, but it basically gives you the I think it's bifurcate is the word. Bifurcate. I think it's bifurcate. The same effect that Garukons gives you
Yeah.
is just like on this spear, which seems like it should be insane, but its base damage is so pathetic that it basically doesn't matter that you have a free Garukons, and then you like upgrade it and it triples the damage, but it's still like after you upgrade it, it's like a 200 DPS weapon.
Yeah, it's
We
just
we
really
we
bad.
can't we can't in endgame. That's not acceptable. Like
But they did say they were going to work a lot on uniques, adding more mid game uniques. And I don't know if you saw the
yeah,
change that they made in 0.4, which, wait, I think it was not 0.4, 0.5.4.
0.5.4. Yeah,
They made it so that basically all uniques that are of a higher level can be equipped at a lower level, and it'll just bring the level of the, um, like whatever spell it brings down.
God, quit, bro. Quit. Quinn is a genius. Shout out Quinn69 because I started during this league. I became something of a Quinn fan because one, I have brain damage. Two, I love ethical melee builds, and three, he's a funny accent. And I started watching his like VODs at work, and I think his like second most recent video was like there's like a 10-minute section where he breaks out MS Paint, and he's like, with all due respect to GGG, I don't know how anyone hasn't thought of this, and he basically does really shitty drawings on MS Paint of like you equip the level 84 unique on a level 20. It just downgrades the unique to like level 20, and you just make like 8 versions of the item for different level breakpoints, and then just downgrade the level of the skill that it provides.
Could you
Now you
imagine?
have twink. Now you have twink uniques. There you go. I don't
Could
like who. What he
Could you
was like.
imagine
Why
if you
are
could
they?
equip Headhunter at like level 1, but it would like give you the modifier for like 5 seconds instead of 30 seconds, and it gave you like 3 strength
Yeah,
instead of 25 or whatever?
yeah. But he was like, I don't know. Respectfully, I don't know why they're talking about making 20 different new gems that like downgrade and whatever. Just make it scale on your fucking level. Like,
That is true.
duh. And
Like,
you know, it was basically what he said. So,
I
you
think
know,
late game they can keep like level level 17, 18, 19, and 20 can be like based off of like drop quality. But like
yeah,
before that, like everything from skill level 1 to skill level 16, just make those like scale with your level. That'd
yeah,
be very very preferable. Um so yeah, and what the vibe I immediately got from that is now uniques are kind of like heirlooms from World of Warcraft. If they can actually
yeah,
fix their unique system in the game, like going through on a league starter will be like even more valuable to making a second character, because you find a good unique and you basically just create an heirloom that you can put on a low level character, and you don't even have to think about gear if you want to be like that kind of player ever again,
yeah.
like until you reach, the the higher echelons where you want to actually like, specify with your gear. But
I also I wanted to mention because I while we're still on like Pharaoh and the rune forging and whatnot, I don't know if you've been able to interact with this yet because it's specific to Kalguran uniques, and I don't know if any of your builds have done them yet. But when you rune forge Kalguran uniques, they're not called rune forged items; they're called rune mastered items,
yeah,
and they still get improvements, but they get like super special. It's basically like corrupting them, but it doesn't. Like you can still change things about them, but it just bolts something onto it for free. So
Yeah.
like I started using Eventide pedals after that episode of I don't know, it's one of the podcasts. If I if I scripted it out more, I would remember what podcast it was. But one second. And now I'm not going to sneeze. Oh well.
Was it
I
the
started
Try
using
podcast with Rax?
yes. Yes, that
Where
was
he
the
was
one.
mentioning
That's
like the screen
the
blowing up when you use
Eventide
Ice Strike.
pedals. Yes, the Eventide pedals with it's not freezing palm. It's shattering palm and ice strike with Eventide pedals. Just blows up the whole screen. So yeah, when you Runeforge Eventide pedals, and it's not just Eventide, it's any Calgarian unique. I think you have to defeat some of the bosses to unlock some of the other recipes. Like, for example, I got Mjolnir off of the Vol Temple, and I really do want to make a Mjolnir character at some point this league. Uh, but I tried to like Runeforge and it just gave me like a question mark and like wouldn't let me do it. So I think pretty sure that's locked behind one of the boss defeats. But yeah, it basically just gives you like bonuses. Like the one I got, which was like I mean it's powerful, but it's like kind of lame because I know what else is out there. I got +3 max cold res. So like that's pretty nice. Now my cold res is like 80% and it's very noticeable when I take cold damage versus my other two types because through my gearing options I have 5% more max cold res than the other two. But it makes me sad because I've seen a rune mastered Eventide pedals that has +2 levels to cold skills. And it's like plus levels can't be beaten. Like if I
Yeah.
could just get that, it would increase my cold. It would increase the Eventide pedals itself. It would increase my ice strike. It would increase my shattering palm. And it, like bro, it would increase my herald of ice.
Your
Oh
whole
my god,
character.
it'd be so good. So, but cold res is cool too, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I
that's like the
guess.
thing that Kugger Uniques can do. So that's kind of cool.
um yeah, I mean the system is pretty cool. It's just overall they have a lot of work to do on uniques anyway, which they said they were going to do. So still looking forward to that. Um, Calling back to the campaigns before we move on to like more end game stuff. I did want to kind of mention that I feel like some of the campaign zones can still there's still a lot of room for improvement. Whatever that one map is it the Spires? I don't know. It's like
Spires of Deshar.
oh my god, the biggest map ever, and it's like small, like an outdoor map, and like you're just
Listen,
walking, and like things are like jumping from all directions that like weren't even on the map, and it's like then you have to like go into some building. Oh my god! And then there's like
this
thirty
I like.
thousand dead ends in every direction, bro. It is the worst map ever. I suffered my first character death on my second character doing on that map, and I suffered two because I would be jumping and
Like,
something would like hop over the edge and just hit me out of my sprint. Honestly, I don't even care about that. Can we if we reduce the map by 50%, I would still smash my cock with a hammer when I play it. Like that zone is so massive and for what? And some
okay,
people have
counterpoint.
other opinions that like the monkey zone is too big. I mean, I wouldn't
It's
say
pretty sizable,
it's
but
it's
it's like
sizable, but I can find the
it
monkey
leads
pretty
to like it leads to like the
often.
whole fucking act. Like you got the Venom Crypts, you got the Infested Warrens, you got the
Yeah.
Monkey, you got the Chimeral Wetlands.
Well, the
Like
first door you need to go
it's
to
like
will
a
be the last door you
central.
find. It seems
Yeah,
to be just
but it branches to like the whole fucking pre time travel part of Act 3. So like yeah, it's big. Um here's my thing. I do not have an ADHD diagnosis, nor do I have an ADD diagnosis. So, you really crash out at Spires of Deshar, and I look at it and I'm like, it's like once a character. It sucks, yeah, a
oh
little
my
bit,
god,
but
bro, my life is
like
ending
I
when I
like
end up there.
like It's literally like 10 minutes and then like never again
Oh,
on that character.
good
It's fine.
God.
Like I mean they
10
could change it.
hours.
They wouldn't they could change it and I wouldn't be like no thank you. I'd be like,
Oh
"Oh yeah,
no.
sure. People didn't really like it that much. It's whatever." I don't really feel that strongly about Spires of Deshar. Plus counterpoint, it gives you plus 10 lightning res. So, that's pretty cool.
I'd rather them just remove it from the game along with the plus 10 lightning res. I just don't want to play it.
Okay. All right.
I'll just put 10 more lightning
The
res on
very
my gear.
first thing
Shit.
when you mentioned Spires of Deshar, the very first thing I thought is I will care the day they make it an endgame map.
Yeah,
If they
exactly,
do,
because it sucks.
GGG better watch out.
Listen,
All
all I'm
right.
saying is if
You
you look
know,
at a campaign zone and say, I would kill myself if this is an endgame map, like,
like,
then it needs a look. It needs a little
yeah,
look
I
see, I
mean,
think, you know?
yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll care the day they make it an endgame map. There's some endgame maps they made this league, bro. Why? I don't know why you did that. We should maybe have a section on endgame maps. To be honest, that's kind of been on my mind now that I'm
You've been
like 8 days
crashing out
into the
about this a
character.
lot more than I have, to be honest. And I have heard of other people crashing out, mostly because they made a version of Matlin Waterways into an endgame map.
My
It's like, who thought about that?
It's insane. Like
Like,
they've
okay, yeah,
heard
they removed the
since Act
water,
3
but
has
like,
existed, they have heard negative feedback on Methland Waterways, and they were like, "Don't worry, guys, we fixed it. Instead of cock and ball torture, it's like a punch in the dick instead. You know, it's over a
yeah,
little bit quicker."
yeah.
However, now it's an endgame map. Who the fuck thought to do that on one of the most
Because you loved it so
like
much, man.
on one of the worst zones in the entire game where like 90% of the player base is like, oh my fucking god, Mathland Waterways. Who was like, yeah, that's gotta be a map. Like,
Yeah, nobody wanted that.
oh my god. No, so like yeah, it makes me crash out a little bit. Like the layout is so bad. The layout sucks for Ritual, the layout sucks for Breach. I don't think I've ever gotten an Abyss on it. I don't know how it is, but like the layout just fucking sucks. It
Yeah,
fucking sucks.
it's like 30,000
Um,
elevation changes mixed with like it just being like a
oh.
indoor maze map,
And
even though
it's
it's outdoor, but like it
huge.
has
And
the
it's
yeah,
huge.
it's big too. Love
And
that.
it's like, oh my god. Its only plus is I guess if you're like a weak build, its boss is literally AFK. Like, the fucking like the treant dude, like
Oh yeah, no,
the
he's not playing the
second
game.
form of Nameless King, but from Timu. I think
Yeah,
his name is like Vile Branch or whatever. That guy doesn't do a fucking thing. He just
nah.
stands there. So so I guess if you have like a pretty like shit build
He
and
reminds me
you
of the
wanna like
swamp monster right whenever you walk into the start of Act 2. Like, you know, or was that Act 3?
yeah, no there's no swampas. Yeah, no, it's the same exact mob. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the
It
start
is
of Act
actually
3.
Act 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Like
was gonna say
I
there's
get
no
more
swamps in
scared of
Act
the
2,
like
but
exploding dune bugs than I or the
yeah,
June bugs
the Pregananans.
and then that boss. Like he
Yeah,
just stands there and he whacks off.
that bug be like, yeah, I'm so pregnant.
Which like we'll talk about the pinnacle bosses, but I also feel like the
Oh
delirium
my
boss
god,
stands there and
yes.
whacks off. Um
Tangmazu?
yeah, he just kind of stands there and whacks off. Maybe a little
I
less,
mean,
but
like, bro, I feel like so this is something I want them to be able to figure this out. Um, but it might be a little hard. I yeah, we'll have a whole bosses section. I want to talk about every single boss.
yeah.
Not every single boss in the game, but like from every mechanic and all that stuff. I haven't played any of the expedition ones, so I can't talk about those really. But
I don't know
I'm
if it's
pretty
just
sure
because I got
I'm pretty
there.
sure you've done them all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it more, but I don't know if it's just because I got there, like it was the last mechanic I did, so I was already 97 levels and
Yeah,
like 200
that's
divs invested. But like I
yeah.
walked up and I farted on them and they died.
That's
So
the problem with them is that they designed all of them as if it was going to be the first thing that you did with no method of scaling.
yeah,
So the first League Mechanics boss is the only one that you feel like is a boss.
Though there was a path. I don't remember which podcast it was. There's so many, like you said, but
Yeah, yeah,
Ghazi. I remember Ghazi saying this before the patch even launched. He was like, all these areas that you can have the option to go to, and all these bosses, like all these new pinnacles are really badass. But the reality is, the first place you go to is always going to be like is always going to give you the most challenge
yeah.
because you're going to fight like I don't know. Prayers for anybody who like fights the Bodak first, especially because I think it's like the hardest one for sure. Um,
He seems to be.
but like Tang Mazu, he's gonna be like you're gonna fight him fresh off the campaign, basically, and then and then all the rest of them, you're
I
going to
mean,
be like,
forget Tang Mazu
oh,
doing Delirium fresh off the campaign.
oh, well, true,
I
true,
mean,
true.
good fucking luck, dude.
I mean, especially at launch, but yeah,
Yeah.
no. All right, so uh, the end game, I kind of feel like it's a lot more like MMO questing now. Like whenever you first
Mhm.
enter it, um,
Absolutely.
like you go to all these different areas and do all these different quest lines, which I think is pretty cool. It almost like it's almost like before the campaign went, and you always have a quest to do and a place to go, and then in the end game, it was like, and then here's the map device, and then all the guidance left right there. Like it was
Yep.
like it
Yep.
was truly go figure it out. And
Yeah.
now it is a lot more like here are the things that you can do. So like
Yeah.
it'll basically the game will just tell you what your options are at that point. I think that's pretty cool. I will say even as and I think everybody felt this. It's kind of the impression I've been getting from all the podcasts, even the super experienced players with like hundreds to thousands of hours have said this a few times on podcasts that I've watched, but you first enter the end game and you're like for the first time in your Path of Exile career, 1 and 2, you're just immediately kind of overwhelmed because like yes, everything is laid out, but it's like what, bro, there's 3 Atlas Masters. All of them have their own 4-part quest line. There's the MSQ with the fortress and both of the arbiters, and it's like you like go through and you unlock the door, and then you go forward, and then you fight the arbiter of ash, and you have to like go left and you have to go right, and then you have to like come back and you have to like go forward, and then you have to fight like the arbiter of divinity, and then like on top of that, it's like there's the league mechanics, 5 league mechanics currently, 5 different areas you can go to. In the future, the more they add, the more areas there's just going to be. And I definitely thought like, okay, you could say like there are people who have 2 different. I feel like there's a mirrored side to each different mindset. There's like the people who say you might as well not min max if you can't dedicate your life to the game because you're never going to keep up with everybody else who is like their job is to play the game and they're also min maxing and they're also much better at the game than you. But there's also like the mirrored side of that. I do like to min max sometimes because I have limited time and I want to use it to its maximum like value. So it's
Yeah.
like if I got to go to work tomorrow, then I'm going to try to juice the ever living fuck out of my maps tonight so I can get the most out of them because I don't get to sit here and play 5,000 maps or something like that. You know, like I don't get to play 20 hours today. So I better get my value out of
Yeah.
the 2 hours that I have. And then there's like then there's the people who say like, you know, SSF kind of like takes away all that feeling, I guess. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, good for them, I guess. But also it's like, see, then here's the other 2 things, the other 2 perspectives that I was thinking where people say like, don't play SSF or wait, don't play trade because then you can get everything you want immediately. And the things that drop on the ground it's like very. I've heard just what I feel like is a wrong opinion, just a flat out wrong opinion. Where Talkative Try, he's on a big SSF um, crusade right now, and like I
Yeah.
respect it. He can feel that way, and I still love Talkative Try, and I listen to all the podcasts and everything. But he says like something will drop, and if it's not for my character, then I don't. It doesn't matter to me as much, or I make a second character and then I use it then. And I've also heard Quinn say this like, but why I like trade is because like you could have two different mindsets. Like don't play trade because you can just buy everything instantly and you'll never reach the heights that the highest trade players will. But also in my mind, I like trade because it means that everything that drops has value. That is the other mindset that I personally can't get away from, which is why I like trade. Like no matter what, everything has value. I could drop a really high tier unique, and just because it's not the
You would want
exact,
Exalt, by the way.
it's true. I could drop a really high tier or like a really valuable thing, and just because I'm not going to use it myself doesn't mean that it is now useless to me, or I have to like make a whole different character and go through the whole campaign again and like do all this and do all that to like get to the end game to like have it be useful. It's useful right away. And also, I mean, if anything has truly made me feel hatred for the phrase "don't play trade, you just buy everything you want." If that were true, I would have a headhunter. I slash played, and it's like a full fucking week of staring my eyeballs at a screen and blasting maps, and and I still don't have everything I want. So
Yeah.
that is just that they are
That's the
just
joy. We get to
stupid.
keep playing.
They are just stupid.
Well,
I just hate that argument more and more. No, I don't get to drop it just because I pick trade. I don't get to walk into the end game and buy my headhunter and buy my rite of the passage cat 20 seconds and buy my
well, but you
four
do get to buy a lot.
voices. Like, yeah, you get to buy a lot, but I mean, that doesn't mean I'm not still to this day looking for upgrades like 3 weeks into the league. You know, there is a thing as getting lucky and not getting lucky. And I didn't drop a Mirror of Kalandra, therefore I am unlucky.
Unlucky. Unlucky.
I don't have
Yeah,
10
I
Mirror of
mean,
Kalandras like a Thubba Gubba.
oh fuck, man. There was just so much said that I feel like I want to respond to, and then I feel like I also lost what was even said. That was
Okay,
a
yeah.
yap session and a half.
Yeah, that's true. I'll bring it back
Um,
to what I was saying. MMO questing. Um there was a lot of like, and this is what started the whole tangent. I was saying I entered the end game and I was like, what would be the most efficient way to do this? Do I want to go for a
yeah,
league mechanic
yeah,
first and complete a league mechanic and then use those league mechanic tablets while I do the fortress? But then if I do
yeah.
that, then I'm doing an entire league mechanic area without any points in my atlas tree, in my basic atlas tree. But if I do that, but if I go there first, then I'm doing that. I'm doing the fortress with no juiced mechanics and no Atlas Masters. So should I go for an Atlas Master first? Because I don't want. I'm missing out on juice. I'm
So
missing out on
so
Atlas Master
here's
juice.
I I have like I need to have a whole yap session of my own just to respond to some of these things. Um the quest lines, yeah, I mean they're like fantastic for the longevity of the game and for people who are new. Like I think for people who are hyper experienced with the game already, they don't really they don't matter so far as in the way that they helped us understand what we could do because we already knew that. But for anyone who's getting into the game in the future, which is like, you know, GGG's whole mission statement with PoE2 is to like expand their player base, which they've already had great success with. They've like I think the peak of all time is like 180k for PoE1, but it was like 500k in 0.1, and then like I think we
Mm-hmm.
hit like 440 at the start of 0.5 this patch. And whatnot. We're still at like 140,000 players or some shit, even
There's a
right
lot
now,
hanging on.
into this league. Um, yeah. So like, but that shit is awesome. The MMO quests and whatnot. The whole argument. Bro. One day I'm gonna make a fucking rant video and I'm just gonna go insane. One day and I'm gonna post it to Reddit. And I'm gonna get fucking downvote bombed. It's gonna be awesome. But
That's true.
the whole like,
Think of an opinion. If
oh,
you put it on Reddit, it's wrong.
true. The whole like worrying about efficiency, because specifically the argument of you'll never be able to match what the top players are doing. Nothing about this patch changed anything about that. Like in 0.4 you were never going to match what the top players were doing. 0.3 you were never going to match what the top players were doing. It's not like they put this patch out and you were like a 35-year-old IT engineer with two kids who plays for 5 hours a week, and in 0.4, man, you were swimming in mirrors and thousands of divines, and you were up there with the best of them, like Fubgun and Ben and X the Farmer and all of these hyper sweats. And now 0.5 came out and there's like quest lines, and oh, now I can't keep up with the top dogs. Like there's this like sort of prevalent mindset in not just Path of Exile but gaming in general that is like really weird and gross to me. That and 787 Prada on one of the Path of Exile podcasts, he brought this up and I agreed with it. And it was like the first time I'd ever heard him talk, and it made me like him so much more. Um, yeah, if you're a dad gamer, to be honest, with a game with this much complexity, you don't deserve to be with the top dogs. You just you don't deserve it. Like, of course, if you only have 10 hours to put into the game a week and the other guy has 150 hours he put into the game in the same week, if they designed the game to where you guys are basically equivalent, why the fuck is he playing?
Yeah, why would the
Like,
10-hour guy play 10 hours?
it- or why would if 10-hour guy and 150-hour guy, 10-hour dad gamer and 150-hour streamer full timer are at the same point of progression, why the fuck is the streamer even bothering to play that long? Like, he he put it so eloquently in a way that I don't quite remember, because the podcast is a couple of weeks old now, like 2 weeks old. But the people who are the best at the game, who are at the top of the leaderboard, and they're the richest people, and they make all of the mirrors and they print mirror to your craft items and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They put like I think I'm pretty sure it's X the Farmer. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comments. He has like 8,000 hours in the game in Path of Exile 2,
Mm-hmm.
and the game's like what? It's like 2 years. It's been in early access at this point.
Yeah, around.
8,000 hours in the
Yeah.
game. Like, he's not at the top because GGG likes him more. He has played like 50 times your playtime as a dad gamer. He's learned all of the tricks. He's played every class. He's done campaign limitless amounts of times. He's bricked more items than you've ever crafted in general. to learn how to craft those mirror tier items. Like, that's the whole point of the fucking game. Like, after 0.5, if I met 0.4 version of me, I'd call him a fucking idiot. Because I've like tripled my knowledge from 0.4 to 0.5, and I still don't know shit. But I know campaign signs. I know generally what supports just seem to be good in terms of like support gems. All of this stuff that you don't have as a first time player or as a casual player or however many hours you have in the game. Of course the guy with 8,000 hours knows more and has a better time. Um
Yeah.
that's something. There's like an attitude that like is semi common that's really weird to me, that is like, this guy whose entire life is playing Path of Exile 2 does more damage than me. When is GGG gonna fix this? What are you
It's
talking about?
it's surely a mindset issue because like there are
Yeah.
games you could play that aren't this kind of game, and to be honest, if that's your mindset going into any game, then multiplayer games just aren't for you in general. I
No.
think, and
Yeah.
anything with that kind of like competitiveness, at least. Like if you are walking into an MMO and you think that you are going to keep up with the streamer, with any kid who comes home from like school and plays all night, and has no other responsibility. If you're going to even moderately keep up with them, or like even if you have a full-time job, you just aren't going to compete with people with part-time jobs. You're cooked all across the board. So if you're going into it saying I'm going to be the best and not I'm going to try and have fun, then you're just going into it wrong.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
you're
but
you're already cooked.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a mindset issue. Like you could play Animal Crossing, you know. I mean, like,
You
hey,
could.
you could.
Minecraft is right there.
That's true. And it's like, I
Like,
mean, you can still play these games and have a lot of fun. But I mean,
I'm having a fucking blast.
I was listening to the Punching Down podcast with Soda Poppin and NMP, and they got like big off of WoW. And so they
Yeah.
talk about WoW on the podcast quite often. And Soda brought up a point because they were having a similar conversation. Um, and they talked about like RMTing and WoW and PoE2 or in Path of Exile. And they're like, if you RMT in WoW, like whatever, like gold can only get you so much. But a lot of things you have to like earn through like honor, like PvP, doing dungeons, like doing the hardest raids, things like that. If you RMT in a game like Path of Exile, what is the point of even playing the game? Because the whole game is building your character to be strong. So if you RMT and then
Yeah.
just buy the stuff and then go on trade and then buy the thing that makes your character strong, you just kind of swiped your credit card and beat the game. That wasn't even what
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up. I was gonna
Paid to
bring
not
up
play.
that was a side tangent. I did want to mention that they brought up PoE2 or Path of Exile since we were talking about it. But the other
Yeah.
thing that's kind of relevant is Soda was like, if you want to play retail WoW, there are people who have been playing and stockpiling their gold since you were in diapers. Especially to like younger kids. Like
Yeah.
you are never going if you install retail WoW right now, you are
You will never be
never
the richest
you are
person.
never be them. There
Yeah.
are people with harems. There are people with multiple characters with multiple guilds with multiple guild banks worth of more gold than you'd ever see in your life.
Yeah.
In World of Warcraft. Like especially with retail. So like unless you're coming to a new server launch, you're just not that guy, pal. And
Yeah.
even then, you'll never beat the streamer.
No.
Um, but yeah, I feel like that's very very similar to every league launch of Path of Exile. Like you're never going to beat the people who have all the time in the world, and you
Yeah, I
shouldn't
mean,
because it
dude,
doesn't make sense that you'd
realistically,
be able to.
like when I think about it realistically, economically, with like dibs invested into the character and dibs I currently have in my stash right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably where Fubgun was on like day 3.
Yeah,
Like
probably.
coming towards the end of like week 3 or
Uh-huh.
whatever. And that's all right. I'm a modest dad blaster, you know, who works a full-time job, doesn't play every day but tries to, and can usually only play for like say like 5 hours if I'm degenerate on like a work day.
Bro said he's a dad
That's
blaster.
fine.
That's stolen honor.
Yeah. That
Stolen
is
valor.
stolen on it. I don't have a kid, but you know, like I comfortably fall into the extreme side of the dad gamer genre because you know, maybe we all disagree. Like maybe the only qualifier for dad gamer is that you have a kid, which is like definitionally fair,
You're
right? You
employed
can't have
gamer.
a you have to have a kid to be a dad. Yeah, I'm an employed gamer. Like there are people who live in their mom's attic slash basement slash whatever the fuck, and they play Path of Exile for 18 hours a day, and they don't shower, and their room is covered in empty Mountain Dew bottles, pizza boxes, shit and piss,
That's how I'm trying to
and
be.
they just live in the mud, and so they're competitive with like Fubgun,
Pizza boxes, huh?
even
Projecting,
though
are
they're
we?
not projecting, are we? And so they're competitive with Fubgun, even though they're not a streamer. And then I'm just like, but at what cost? Like it was
Your
fun
soul.
for like launch weekend, right? After
Yeah.
that, I mean, fuck, like I'll still play a lot, but I'm gonna play like a fucking normal person, not a fucking I don't know creature.
I would agree. Um, so, oh, one thing I did want to mention because I have the note here, even though we moved away from campaign, but before 1.0, I think that they should definitely make all the bonus stat campaign choices changeable, and they've already said that they're going to do that. I had written this note down before they confirmed that they were going to do that. Even if it isn't thematic, like you take, like what venom you take or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
um, like I think all your choices should be reversible because it's just not new player friendly at all. What if they think
yeah.
something sounds good when they're literally like 4 hours into this insanely complicated game and they're like 4 hours, first 4 hours ever, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds good." Then they get later and they're like, "Wow, I shot myself in the dick and the balls doing that." And that is irreversible.
Like
Even though
I
some
think
changes are reversible or some of the
yeah,
choices are.
no, that's fine. Yeah. Part of me was slightly resistant because I was like, you're always gonna take the Ellie Res tattoos until you no longer need them because you're capped, and then you're gonna swap to the stat tattoos always. So it just kind of removes some nuance out of the campaign thing. But then I was like, I just don't care. I don't care
Yeah.
because there's an all Ellie Res the what are they called, like the cups of Odai or whatever in the second interlude
Mm-hmm.
where there's all those cup things. There's an all LE res thing there too that you can just swap at any time when once you no longer need it.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought about it for just a second, and then I was like, that's that's just what it is. Yeah, like the five. Eventually, the +5 strength will be better than the res because you won't need the res, and that's just slightly more health and another red support gem, which can mean a lot for some builds.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a small price to pay to make the game I feel like just objectively better for more people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the super min maxers will go back and change their
Yeah,
choice.
like I'm a sweaty loser for even bringing that up.
But exactly,
Pretty
exactly.
much.
But like
Like
when you think about like what GGG has told us the actual numbers are, the sweaty losers that
yeah.
are going to do that far underweigh the not
Yeah.
sweaty losers that aren't even going to be thinking about that. They're just going to be grateful that they get to like reverse their shitty choice.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
like some
True.
people might say, like, oh, five. Like if you're coming from like Dungeons and Dragons background, you're like 5% resist or 5 whole dexterity. Like that sounds like a lot to a D&D enjoyer. Um, they'll choose the 5 dexterity and then they'll be like, yeah, I'm actually gonna blow my shit smooth off.
Nice.
Because
Again, like 30 accuracy rating.
yeah,
Sick.
oh yippee. Definitely choose that over fortifying my resistances, which are all trash right now. Super.
Yeah.
Um yeah. So
I agree.
I I wanted to be a big hater real quick.
Okay. Yeah,
Um
let's do it.
I wrote this down. I think I told you whenever I mentioned this. I the free the the free weekend at launch, and there's clearly a whole lot more reasons why the servers were lagging. But like, bro,
Okay, man.
putting 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 your buyers, putting your loyal customers in a queue, and then also smashing their balls with 10 billion pounds of lag, which to be fair persisted after the free weekend was up, so it clearly is just and is still even like, oh my god, I didn't even think about it.
You get some here or
Today
there.
might be the first day I've played where I haven't lagged a shitload or crashed a single time. Huh. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's just like newly fixed, but like at the time when this was happening, I was like, all these fucking freeloading freaks need to get off the game I spent $30 on. Like this is ridiculous. I am literally bouncing. I'm bouncing like a bunny across the screen. I like do a
Yeah.
dodge roll. My screen freezes, and then my unfreezes. I sprint 10 miles to the right into a
Yeah.
pack of mobs, get knocked down and die. And I see all that happen within like a split fucking second. There's even a clip of that on my Twitch of that exact thing happening. And then like, oh,
Yeah.
I clicked the resurrect button, and then I fucking like, and then the screen freezes again, and then I get booted from the game. It's like, holy shit! And then I look at the Steam charts. It's like 10 billion people decided to hop on the wagon today because we did it for
Yeah.
free. It's like, holy shit, bro! Get
Oh
these
man,
freaks off my game.
they better
You know what I
get
mean?
their server situation improved before 1.0 because I
It's gonna
think
be diabolical
1.0
if that shit happens
very
in 1.0.
obviously because it's going free. There's going to be way more players than there's ever been. It's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be the
I want
patch.
to say they will hit 1 million players in 1.0.
I would not
I
doubt it.
I'm I'm a hopeful guy.
I can see them easily hitting 1 million viewers on Twitch. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of games do that whenever they, or at least, I mean, they used to. I feel like when
We use this
PoE2
Twitch,
launched even
man.
into early access, they it like popped up super hard or popped off super hard.
Yeah.
I remember like the days that Overwatch dropped and like in Valorant, the days that Valorant dropped, like for multiple days in a row, like 3 days in a row for both those games. They're doing like drops for keys to get into the game, and the categories were hitting like million plus, like million to 3 million viewership on Twitch, some crazy shit like that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be an absolute shit show. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Um,
It'll be great.
so yeah, uh-huh. So there's a discussion going around right now where people are saying since there are more things that you kind of want to travel the Atlas for, like before when it was infinite and there were no like specific areas where you do specific things, it didn't matter how long it took you to get from point A to point B. But now there, well, other than like looking for your like going for towers and like citadels. Um But now you're actually like trying to move from mechanic to mechanic. You're looking for like these corrupted zones. You're still looking for the like the Citadel tower specific things like the bosses to get the basically like multi div drops to do the key to get the key to fight the pinnacle. Um,
Yeah.
you're still traveling just as much pretty much as you were before. Now there's also like you're looking for cities, you're going to like other mechanic biomes, things like that. People are saying that they wish that Grand Project was baseline to towers, where whenever you complete a tower, it reveals the whole area, but it basically allows you to go to any of the nodes. So you could like get to a tower and then like jump like 5 maps, and it would just be like one nice thing. I would say either that or increase the chance that Doriani has to proc his like you get to travel 2 maps. You get to basically play a leapfrog, and I don't know if you've like selected that node and completed a map before.
I've never even like I know it exists. I've never even had it selected because I looked at that and I was just like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I have a very opposite opinion, but
I
I
don't know.
don't feel strongly to argue like a counterpoint. Like, if the people want grand projects, they can have it. Mm, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I
Uh,
personally am of the group that would just like more ways now to travel the Atlas because, bro, I mean, we might as well get into it now. You found
yeah,
like 20 cities,
yeah. This
20,000
is a
billion
like I was
cities.
gonna say this whole city thing is a skill issue, man.
I I search city on my search bar. I do not have any. I've been playing for like a very similar amount of time that you have, and there I'm just not finding any cities. I have only
Well,
found the first city that is you get with Fall Temple, the one big city. I have not found any others after that point, and my like the amount that I've explored is massive. Like
oh,
I've looked around
so
myself, I've
we
searched
gotta get
it.
into it, man. I have a couple like I want to like diagnose this issue with you here, like briefly. I
Uh,
have a couple of
I think I'm
questions.
just unluckers.
No, I think it's a skill issue, right? Like it has to be just like a skill issue,
Yeah.
right? Because if we look at the board,
Uh huh.
if we the podcast look at the board here, right? We got here's an Ezomite city right here.
There is
This was
literally.
a Faradun city right here.
Uh huh.
There's a Vol city right here. Here's a Faradun city right here. Here's an Ezomite city right here. Um,
I don't
so
know
that's
what to
like
tell you.
what, 5 or 6,
There is nothing on my map that
right?
looks like that, bro.
Here's another Ezomite city right here.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
What else
That
do I
must be
got?
really
If
hard
I
for you. Too
I
many
think,
cities.
dude, it's like it's genuinely I haven't done expedition because I'm just juggling too many cities. Here's another Faradon city that I did. Here's like a half completed Vol city that I still have going on. Here's another Ezomite city in the district
Yeah, your shit's gotta be bugged
right down
or
here,
some
bro.
shit.
Like and
Like
so like I'm
I'm gonna
just
lose it.
and then my homie on the other side of the screen is like, yeah, I've just never seen a city in my life, and it's like, well, bro's eyes aren't open clearly.
Uh
So second question, now that we've established that, are you using towers?
yeah,
Like, do you go to every tower you see?
yeah. But I've been going, especially whenever it
Because
started
I
getting
was
more
gonna say,
frustrating.
pretty much every city I've found has become is because I do a tower and then the tower goes woof and it reveals a whole bunch, and then I see the city and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I'll go to
yeah.
the city.
Well, see, I do that, and then I don't
So
see a city. So
it's gotta be a skill issue. I don't know. Maybe in 1.0 we'll or the next maybe the next reset, whenever the next podcast episode is, maybe I'll come back a changed man and I'll be like, GGG, you need to make cities more common.
I,
But right now I'm like, man, I have too many cities. Like I can't even think about expedition because I'm like, well, if I do expedition, then I'm limited to 3 tablets. Why the fuck would I do that? when I could be in all of these cities. So
Yeah, that must be tough for you.
yeah, it's a real
Yeah,
pickle to be in.
I can see how that would be rough
Yeah.
for you.
So I don't know. Like I think you have to get better at the game,
Yes, yeah, I was
and then
thinking
you'll
the
find
same
more
thing.
cities.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good wrap
I
up on
agree.
that.
Um so Atlas tree not being refundable. Are you still a hater of that after hearing their reason for it?
I honestly like maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I was never like a huge hater of that. I think I disagreed with it. I was like, I don't really like it that you can't do that. But then I got a little bit more into the league and I was like, wait, this is only an issue if you're a little guppy. Like, if you're a big dumb idiot head and you choose all of the bad ones first because you're like new or something, then yeah, that kind of sucks. So I guess they could allow you to do it. But there was like, I don't know, it was like the end of week 1 or something. I don't even remember what day we actually did it on, where we were just like, well, I'm just gonna spend all of my divs to get every Atlas point. And then we did that and I was like, oh,
Yeah, we
if you're
fought the boss
strong
over and
enough
over
to
again.
farm, yeah, if you're strong enough to farm Arbiter, you can just spend your first however many divs. I think for me it was like 18 to just have the whole tree, and then like I've never thought about it again. So
Yeah.
I think for very, very early progression, it might be like kind of nice. But I think they would honestly have to go like a sort of I think like an orb of regret situation if they wanted to do it, where you'd have to actually get it through a currency
Yeah.
because
If you could
if it was
freely do
freely
it.
do it with gold, then the exact same problem that they're talking about would just sort of manifest. Like
Yeah.
if you have like a half done tree and you see an Ezomite city, and Ezomite cities count as mountains, it's one of the options
Yeah.
anyway.
And you're just going to cover
But
all the city nodes and all the
you're
mountains.
gonna undo all of your forest nodes and redo the mountain nodes. Or if you're not going to do that, you're gonna feel like you should, and there's gonna be this like pressure on you,
Yeah.
the optimization pressure that exists in games like this that will just kind of feel bad. And if you don't have the option, just don't think about it.
Yeah.
And another counterpoint, why are you looking at cities when you haven't done your Atlas tree yet?
I'm looking at no cities at any
You're
point ever.
you're you're an Atlas tree jail, buddy.
That's true.
You better not leave that fucking fortress till you're capped out, you motherfucker.
Um,
Um,
there was another thing about the Atlas tree that I wrote down. I I don't feel this as much now that I have the entire tree allocated, but I only feel like better about it because I have the entire tree allocated. And it's that like the biome nodes, just in my opinion, that they don't feel very good. Like because like say you're not doing the thing that we did where we basically like spent a load of divs and then bought our points to complete our tree like 45 atlas points at a time, and you're just
yeah.
going through and you're like trying to like I don't know like ethically do the fortress or whatever, or ethically do the whole thing, or maybe you fought them once, maybe you fought them twice, but then like you're doing some exploring and like individually doing. It's like I am never. They made special biomes like cities because there is a reason. Like they're the whole middle of the tree is cities, and I'm fine with this honestly. I wish I could find more cities, but then again, like the cities thing, a lot of creators have kind of said that it makes them feel the tower chase, like you were chasing for
Yeah.
towers before 0.5, and now you're chasing for cities.
I,
Um, And that's all about juice optimization. It's like that optimization
Yeah.
pressure. Um, but besides the point, like the cities I'm more fine with because it is like a special biome that you're kind of looking for. And
Yeah.
you want those to have like a specific amount of juice that maybe the other zones don't have because that's what makes them special and so strong. But like the fact that there's like a few nodes for like mountain biomes and a few nodes for like bro, I'm never gonna log into Path of Exile saying like I'm gonna grass map hunt. No, the fuck you're not. Like you're
I
never going to do that. Whenever I was doing like those were the last nodes that I selected because it doesn't feel good to say, okay, so like if I'm not specifically looking for grass node maps, I'm clicking these nodes that say grass places give 4% more rarity or whatever the fuck it is.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm basically taking a node that will affect my character power maybe like 1 out of every 5 maps on average if there's like 5 kind of biomes. Um it just doesn't feel good to do and like I said until you've allocated the entire tree and then it's like, well everything is juiced all the time, so I don't really care what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But in my opinion it actually adds optimization pressure to have these different little biome nodes.
I was gonna say I have a Mr. Yahoo thought
Like the milk.
on no.
The search engine.
No. Benjamin?
Oh. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
I
get
have a
you.
Yahoo thought where I don't think there's enough biome nodes on the tree. I
Oh my
because
god.
I get to a city, one of my many, one of my billions of cities, right?
Yeah.
And then I look and I'm like, okay, the Ezomite cities can either be mountains or they can be forests,
Yeah.
right? And so then I'm like, okay, well, what's better? What's better, a mountain or a forest?
Yeah.
And then I look through all the nodes and I'm like, man, there's like 5 things that affect each of these,
Yeah.
right? And only one of them is like a selectable guy, like a changeable guy. So it's just very, it's like,
That is fair. They're small areas, but they're annoying
so
at
it's like,
first,
I
in my
look
opinion.
at I look at the selector and I'm like, okay, well, what's good about forests? And the forest is like 50% chance to find lineage support gems. That's kind of cool. That's pretty cool. Or increased chance, 50% increased chance for uncut skill
You know
gems,
what the problem with that option
or
is?
huh?
Even if you chose that, it's still impossible to find the good ones, like Rakiata's Flow,
There's two.
because that one drops off
There's
a specific boss. So like if you
yes.
take like, oh in grass I'll get
However,
50% more lineage
there's a
support gems. Like
unique tablet that changes the biome of the map
no.
to forest. Okay. Yeah, and that's why the unique role for like water is like 20 exalts, and the unique tablet that gives you the forest biome was like 50 divines or something, because that node is actually super impactful for using it on
No.
okay, using it on Jade Isles and whatnot. There's still 2 generically good lineage support gems that you can get from anywhere in the end game. It's just like you're not gonna get them,
You haven't seen
right?
any proof of that.
Just like how we haven't seen any Rakiatas or any Garukons or anything really, any Rigwald's ferocities, any yeah, nothing. No good lineage gems exist if we were in SSF. And they still don't exist in trade because I'm too poor to buy them. But we'll get there. And so yeah, but like so that's like the forest thing, and then the mountain thing is like some genuine filth. I looked at it and I was like, why is this in the game? It was like
I think mountain was like quantity or
it was
rare something.
wait, no, mountains are good. Mountains are good.
I
Yeah.
think I actually
Quantity
chose
it's
for
either
my
it's quant of tablets found, quant of waystones found,
6% increased
and then like
rarity.
yeah, like some like generic, like the third one is usually just like a generic more better. Um, there's one of the biomes, I don't remember which one it is, but it's like plus 50% gold found.
Oh yeah,
What the
that's
fuck are we
that's
talking
bad.
about? Or like I think the other options are like
I
there's
think that's
more rare
desert.
there's more rare chests in this biome or something like that. Like
Yikes.
holy fuck,
Yeah, you couldn't
man.
pay me, bro.
Holy shit. But like yeah, so like I look at my cities and then I look at the biomes and I'm like, I want more biome nodes. I want more choice-based biome nodes. Um,
I think you're just wrong.
yeah, no,
I think you just want
I
more
mean,
juice on you. I think you just want more juice.
I just want more juice. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I could always use another juice box.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but this is coming from a Vault Temple enjoyer, so I already have horrible opinions.
See, a thought I was thinking that I thought about thinking thankfully,
Mm-hmm.
was that I thought to
Yeah.
think that if I, because especially the more mechanics that are going to come out, the longer it's going to take to get to specific mechanics. Like ritual is on the whole other side of delirium. Awful choice. Should be flipped. Anyway, that's a whole
Yeah.
different thing. Um, it I my solution to this, and also it kind of helps the people that say that like I wish there were more ways to get around the map. I wish that you could start your journey from the individual mechanic hubs as well, just like how you start it from the middle.
Yeah, like you don't
And
have to travel to the Monastery of the Keepers. Like you just do your first breach, and then the Aelith comes out, and she's like,
come to my
"Yo, this is
house,
my
mate.
house." And then
Yeah.
yeah, you can
And
just
she
go
like
there.
invites you, and then like maybe you take the portal, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, new place discovered. Now I can like
yeah.
build my map out from like I don't
I feel
remember the
like that's
breach place, like, but I know
the
like
Monastery of the Keepers.
yeah. Then you can like
Care
build your map out from
Care
the
Carth
monastery.
for ritual,
So yeah, that's the
Well
one
of
I know.
Souls for Abyss,
Um,
Ruins of King's March for Expedition,
but yeah, I think that would be
and
very
Weeping
very good.
Willow for Delirium.
Some people could just say, yeah, I want to do this. Do 10 dud maps. Do 10 fart maps before you get to before you get to where you want to go. It's like,
Yeah.
all right. And now, whenever you actually complete your Atlas tree and you've completed all the most of the mechanic trees, even the fart maps are good. Like even like the filler
Oh yeah,
maps can
yeah,
drop
they're
good
awesome.
things
I love
because
them.
the juice is basically what you make it, and you always have it.
Yeah,
Um, but
but early on,
early in the game, it's like, oh, I actually have to fart and poop before I reach the mechanic that I want to. So
agree.
I don't want to do that. So yeah, that was just something I jotted down. Uh yeah, went over that. Uh-huh. Something I was thinking, and this isn't, I wouldn't say this is exactly a problem. I think this is kind of just the way that it has to be if the quest lines are going to be the way that they are or be what they are. But Hilda is super easy to get, while Doriani and Jado are very hard by comparison. And hard, I just mean like time consuming. Like you have to do 3 corrupted nexuses and then defeat like a special boss on a
The
cleansed
Immured
maps.
Fury.
Yeah, to do Doriani. So you got to do a lot of
Yeah.
exploring to like get different corrupted nexuses. And then Jado is like you have to do 4 of like the anomaly maps, like all 4 of the anomaly maps. And who knows if you're going to find those. Especially early, like you can get the thing where he like
I'm
reveals
pretty
them.
sure they're scripted. Like during his quest line, I remember him just being like, "Yo,
Oh yeah.
go over there,"
Well,
and it pans
it might have
to
bugged for me because it revealed the first two, but it did not end up revealing the next two. I just had to like straight up find his last two levels.
that might be
Um
accurate.
in like the dark, like I just had to clear fog, clear map and explore out into the atlas to find the other ones.
Yeah,
Um but Hilda was like, "Hey, you know this map that's like two maps away from a map that's completed beside it? There's like a great beast there. So then, like go kill it, please." And then so you're like, "Nice." So like if you're actually just doing Hilda's quest, you complete it in like less than eight or like eight maps or less. And Doriani's like,
yeah,
"You might
but
do
like,
eight maps looking for your first corrupted nexus and not find it. Wouldn't that be so cute, you
well,
little
there's a
chud?"
guarantee
That's true. That's
corrupted
true. Your
nexus where
second
you get his
corrupted
first
nexus.
point. True, but like again, maybe I'm just like a god gamer, but they were so easy to find. So easy to find. They're fucking everywhere. So for
Yeah,
me, it took
I did
like,
lock in it at one point, and I was like, I guess I'll just complete Doriani's quest line finally, because I just wasn't using him. I was using Hilda and Jado, and I was like,
yeah,
okay, I know where like I know where like six corrupted nexuses are at this point. I'll just go to some of them.
yeah, they're kind of everywhere, man. Like I don't see this as like a big problem because like
It's actually the biggest problem ever.
it is the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
And like here's another hot take. Like, okay, let's rank the masters not by how cool they are, but like how effective they actually are. In my opinion, it goes generally Jado, Doriani, Hilda. Hilda's such a useless bitch. Like you complete her so fast, but she doesn't fucking do anything. So you're like,
Yeah,
wow, this is a great master I've capped out. Too bad she sucks ass. Like, and I think it's because her whole like thematic is something that the devs, GGG has sorely lacked on. It's that like map bosses don't give anything. Like
that is true.
in early map progression, they're awesome because when you do a powerful map boss, it'll upgrade your waystone. So like, that's how you progress up to T15s or whatever. Once you're in T15s, you kill a boss, and if you have like a good loot filter, literally not a single thing from the boss actually shows up on the filter. There
Yeah.
have been many, many times I kill a map boss that it has like three wisps and a shrine buff, and like they're like juiced out the wazoo gourd, and then I kill them and nothing pops on my filter. And then I like
Yeah.
hold alt and it's like eight regal shards.
Yippee.
I'm like, you're like, what the fuck are we
Thank
doing?
God.
Like, there are rares on average. Like, I feel like rares, like a singular rare mob in a map, will give you more worthwhile loot than the map boss, and I feel like it's just completely fucking backwards. So like, don't nerf rares because they're basically what drops your divines for the most part when it
Yeah.
comes to the game. But do buff bosses because what the fuck?
Bro, I only do
It
bosses to
is
get the map complete at this
yeah,
point.
like you do it to complete the map,
They're so butt cheeks.
and they don't do anything. So yeah. So like Hilda was supposed to be like the boss bitch who, she buffeted a boss, and then I would buffet a boss, and then I'd fight this like way harder boss for no reason. And then it would give me like
Mhm.
an exalted orb.
I guess I'll just feel
So I was
weird.
like so I was like, yeah, cool. So yeah, like in my opinion, Jado's the best, begrudgingly. I'm not like a fan of Jado. Um and it's nothing to do with the guy's thematic or anything. I think I really dislike losing out on free irradiated from Doriani. Like that is such an insane node. Like if they do like an Alder's Legacy thing
That is true.
for Atlas Masters, I guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt, people would just rip off his irradiated thing and just put it on Jado. and replace one of like Jado's like less consequential ones, like the 5% chance on completing a map to reveal a anomaly map or whatever.
Yeah.
I would just pull that shit right out, throw the radiation in there. And then like Thoriani, he's good because like irradiated, if your build sucks, it gives you an extra portal, but it's also like his like one of his first nodes is pretty good. The monsters have 2% more toughness and rarity. I think they're both 2%, but it might be 1% for the rarity. Per explicit modifier on the waystone itself. So if you get those like corrupted like 8 mod waystones, that can be like pretty crazy
Yeah.
as well. But like yeah, I feel like Doriani is like he's like a solid second place in my opinion, and then like Hilda, uh
She's just butt cheeks.
I don't know what
She's
Hilda
just
like
butt
Hilda
cheeks no
doesn't do,
matter what you how you
she
slice
just
it.
doesn't do anything. I tried to
She
use
does
her
the
because her
her best thing is probably gain effectiveness on your tablets for every unique tablet that you have.
yeah,
That
if you're
is
running like a city
easily
with
her
a whole
best
bunch of
one, I would
bullshit.
assume. I believe.
Yeah. Like if you're running a city map and you're using 4 unique types of tablets, just like a whole bunch of bullshit strategy, then I could see that being effective.
Yeah.
Um, but her second best one, which is like generically in her first row, probably the first one you get, it's like 15% more rares in your map.
Super.
Cool.
Hey,
Cool.
that's a lot of
Um,
divines right there over time. Think about it.
hey, more rares. Like, so, like she just doesn't do anything because the second half of her kit, by the way, the second half of her kit is as Mary Wisps. Holy
Yeah.
fuck! They like
The,
they made as Mary Wisps a lot more tolerable in like one of the mini patches. I think it was point two, and like huge W. But so I like really I fixated on wisps and I ran like a full wisp strategy for like 10 tablets, which isn't a great sample size, but I've still made like I run a breach strategy for 10 tablets and I make like 25 divines. I ran the wisp strategy for 10 tablets. I think I made like 2 divines. So I was like, uh, I'm
I'm good.
good. But
Doriani has a node that's like it's just so bad. I personally don't think that any of the Atlas Masters should have main league mechanic specific unless you're going to make like unless Pharaoh is going to be an Atlas Master and you pick him to go whole hog into like
I would actually like
boosting your
that.
expeditions. But like Doriani has one note that's like replace your little bombs with one big bomb. I've never heard once
Yeah.
of somebody being like, "Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun." Like that. That's just to me that just sounds dumb.
It's funny because that was the most beloved part of the old expedition tree because expedition was so shit that everyone wanted to get just like if they wanted to do it, they wanted to get it over with so badly that they
Bro,
used the
yes.
one that they used the one big bomb thing. And then they took away one big bomb from the tree and they gave it to Doriani. And I agree, I haven't heard of anyone using it.
And I wish that they would
So
just like if it's going to be in the game, I'd prefer it just be on like Pharaoh, for example, or be on just be on the actual expedition tree itself, like where you have all the like little bombs or
yeah.
you have one big bomb. Now, like something the big one of the biggest reasons why I don't like the one big bomb is because I feel like with them adding these runes of Alder and these like these remnants, if the remnants are actually good, if you actually make the remnants good, then we're gonna want to like blow up all the remnants. I don't want one big bomb that misses all the remnants. I'm gonna try and hit as many as I can if they're actually like valuable. So
Yeah.
I don't want one big poop fart bomb. Like I don't want that.
Yeah.
Um, but
I kind of agree, but I would almost I really think they're gonna expand the Atlas Master System a lot. I would be completely fine if you're like let's say Expedition is your thing. You love Expedition.
I hate
Pharaoh Atlas Master. Well, yeah, first of all, no you
it.
don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second of all, Pharaoh Atlas Master after 0.5. And then it's just so easy. You can just print them.
Yeah.
Aleph Atlas Master. There you go. Elder Maddox for Delirium. Oh, there you go. Like there's like Ife. I, she has like a very
Aloif?
Oife, Oife, Ife,
Something.
Aiofe. It's a very Scottish like folklore type name. I think it's Aoife, but her for fucking ritual. You could literally just boop, and
Yeah.
then like the lurking creature for Abyss. Like they all have like a one character who's like your guide and whatever. You could just make them Atlas Masters if you really wanted to, and then have them have like half generic benefits, like all of the Atlas Masters generally do, and half dedicated just to their thing. Uh,
I mean,
like benefits.
there's a lot of options that they could do. I would honestly really like to see the Trial Master. I think that he'd be so cool as one because like to be fair, I feel like Jado has one of the nodes that I would wish that he had, which would be like the corrupted adds an extra
Yeah, where
modifier.
you just open into
Um,
random maps and whatnot.
but I think if you like made him an Atlas Master, his like thematic would be like literally all of his nodes have a downside, but the upsides of his nodes are larger than like are just straight up bigger than all the other upsides that you would get from like other Atlas Masters. Like
Yeah,
like the strongest buffs you could possibly get in the game would come from him, but it would come at a cost. Like every node.
yeah.
Um, and you wouldn't have to do that. It could just be like
I mean, I
corruption
mean, I
themed and
could
things
still
like
see
that.
that.
But yeah. All right. So here's a random conversation that I kind of wanted to bring up at the start, but I forgot. Now this is something that we're gonna be like super late on the topic. It's just a part of doing the podcast for the league, like 3.5, 4 weeks into it. But there was a big conversation whenever they started doing mid league nerfs to like builds and like temple and things like that. And my perspective on it the entire time is even if it was like what I was playing, I am all for it. Like I think that mid league changes are good. And some people say like, I mean, I guess we can live with them like in early access. Like, yes, in early access, they have to be like, they should be constantly changing the game to try and find that right balance because we're basically just guinea pigs until 1.0. But I think even after 1.0 hits, they should do this. I never want to see a world where like Harvest when it was released in PoE1 and in 0.4 Vol Temple, I'd never want to see a game state like that persist for an entire league. Like
Yeah,
if it were my decision and I know that this is like extremely unpopular, actually I don't know if I would do it if it was my decision even though I would want to because it is so unpopular. I think the moment people started like printing like a fucking mirror a day out of the Vol Temple, they should have like clicked the reset button on the league. It should have been like, holy shit, we fucked up. Sorry guys. Fresh start here. We're resetting the server. Um Something is severely wrong here. Or like made an alternative second league where it's like, okay, we fixed the problem on this league, like we're doing a patch, but it's going to be like on a separate league. So it'd be like 0.4 would have been like Fate of the Vol, Fate of the Vol hardcore, Fate of the Vol solo self found, and then Fate of the Vol 2 Electric Boogaloo nerfed edition. Um
wow.
with an unbroken server. Because like
I mean,
I just don't want to see a league left like I don't want. I was happy when they did that because I do not want 0.5 to have its whole ravaged like that. Like that would just be unenjoyable.
Yeah, no, like so I agree with like mid-league nerfs entirely. I don't know if I'd go so far as to like split the player base between like the people who are okay with the nerfs and people who aren't or whatever. I would just say like, hey, you gotta accept that like if you're using like a big exploit, that they're gonna like nerf it or fix it.
Yeah.
And not to be aggressive, but like you're lucky you're not fucking banned. All right, buddy. Depending on what the nerfs are, like if it's actually like using an exploit or whatever. Especially because like, bro, if I was, I mean, they probably can't do it because of the drama or whatever. But I, whatever. If I was John and Mark and I had fixed temple snaking for like the third time, and then I see 2 days later that some fucker is like, "Hey, I found a new way to snake." Banned. Ban that motherfucker. You're done. Like, like
I
it is so clear that we have made it abundantly obvious we don't want you to do this. We have said it's a bug, it's an exploit, it is not intentional. You should not be able to do this. Just because you keep
hot take.
figuring out how
Then
to,
fix it.
I mean, yeah, then fix it. But like,
I think
still, like, you're just you know that it's an exploit and you're still doing it, like
this may be
repeatedly.
a hot take. Now this might actually be a super hot take, but
You know?
I think when it comes to bugs, dupes, exploits, it is always the fault of the company. Where it's like you were exploiting. It's like what I'm doing wouldn't be possible if you didn't give me that option. Like I'm playing your game, bro. You're the dev. Like fix it. I don't know.
I
I mean,
agree. I think it's more like
duping would
I
probably
think
be the
it's
most egregious one. Like duping might actually like if you're just putting like a mirror of Calandra in your backpack, and then like you find out that if you like control shift alt press the number 5, do a split, do a trick backflip,
on a
click
full
it,
moon.
yeah, on a full moon, it puts it in your stash but keeps it in your inventory. So now you have 2 mirrors. Like, okay, bro. And then you're just like, oh, mirror printing. And then you just like do that over and over again. Like, okay,
Ban
bro,
that
ban.
motherfucker.
But like, if you're
Uh,
to contrary to you to what you were saying, we fixed snaking, and then someone figures out how to do it. Well, then you didn't fix it. It's not that guy's problem. Like, the player is always going to want more loot. So if there is a way to, if there is an optimal way
not
to
me,
build
bro.
the temple, okay, sure.
Like
I actually like Huck and Ball
I
Torture.
never snaked. I never snaked. I don't know. Like maybe I'm just like a moral creature, but
Like
um,
the player is always going to want more loot. So if they figure out a way to
yeah.
get it, and then you're saying that's not intentional, then fix it, bro. What do you mean?
I mean,
Why are you yelling
like
at him?
yeah, like I agree. Like we can like okay, let's
He
say
just
like
wants the
80-30.
divs,
Or
bro.
wait. Like let's just agree to like 80-20. Like 80% of the fault is the companies. 20% is the rat fuck who like keeps doing it even though they've said that's not intentional.
You want me to instantaneously slam the fix?
Uh,
So snaking goes
so
around
you're
the
gonna
temple,
say
right?
delete ball temple.
Okay. Okay, well, I was gonna say an actual fix. I
Yeah.
think what you could do is, well, one thing that I was immediately thinking was just make the temple smaller in general, like less spaces. Take out a whole row on the UI, increase like the size of the rooms on the UI or whatever. Just overall lower the size of the temple. Then you
I
like,
feel like you never fill it out ethically.
yeah, you never fill
Yeah.
out ethically anyway. And on top of that, it prevents people from like going all around and like snaking. And on top of that, it kind of just also just gives it like lowers the ceiling of how powerful it can get. So if the problem is that it gets too powerful when you do this strat, or whenever you get too many rooms and you fill it out and you game the system, then just make it smaller overall. Less rooms equals less money. Um, but also, if you want to keep it the same size, now this is something I just thought of now while we were talking about it, was like, let's say the farthest two rows on each side minus 30% effectiveness of rooms. Like whatever the rooms say, subtract like 30% of that power. Then like the next row, minus 20%. Next row, minus 10%. So if you're like at Zeri rushing, which apparently is the way that they want you to play the mode, um, then you then in that case, you're getting full
Pretty
value out of
profitable,
all
huh?
the rooms that you put in the middle. But if you're like building out to the sides and you're trying to snake, you're straight up just at all times getting like minus 20 to 30% effectiveness out of all your rooms, which just breaks the strategy instantaneously. So like there's two different theories that I had.
Yeah, Azeri rushing is pretty profitable now. I had to check it. It's sitting at 510 divs.
What's sitting at
So,
510 diffs? Oh, Zeri's
Azeri's
Communion.
communion
Oh,
from
then
Azeri, yeah.
that's the new one that
Yeah.
they added, right?
Yep. The
Yeah.
life for a spirit skill.
See, that was
So
such a good
yeah,
idea. I think that they should do that more often. I think that they should just add even more cool shit to all the pinnacles.
like a Kulama
Yeah, they're
lineage.
kind of doing that with Kulamac now. Although Kulamac,
Like there's a
in my
couple, they
opinion,
just
it
all
doesn't even
suck.
count as giving him new shit, even though that is what they're doing factually. Um, but bro, it's like so they introduced all of these new pinnacles, and they're like, you get new shit, you get new shit, or like you get like every new pinnacle in the game has like multiple good drops. And then you fight Kulamak, and because he's a little outdated, 0.3, and he's not like up to par with the ones that they added, bro, every ring you could ever make is the biggest piece of dog shit. Every belt is the biggest. No one ever says, I get a Stygian Vice. That's better than a Headhunter or Mage Blood for sure. No. And we're
Darkness and
still not
Dawn
saying that.
on Exalt.
Oh, true. Yeah. Oh, wow. And then also, like, that's kind of where the unique stopped. And now they're like, okay. All
Well,
the other.
there's the Lich staff, which was
Yeah, no.
it was pretty much okay. It was definitely his most valuable drop
But now they're giving him
until they
another
added more.
staff, right? Is that a staff or a mace?
I thought gloves.
Yeah, gloves they did add, but they also had like a picture of like a staff of some sort that they said is going to come probably in point 0.5.5.
Maybe, but he always had a staff, and it dropped. It dropped.
Maybe they're just reworking the one he has already.
I
That could
mean,
be it.
maybe they might just be adding like more stuff to the staff itself, but it dropped six veiled, just like the Omen of Putrefaction does, where
Yeah.
it's like all of them are desecrated. Yeah. And yeah, that staff could be like 100 div if you got all the good stuff on it. So
So let's get into the individual mechanics pretty soon.
oh yeah.
There's like so like to close out the thing where I was talking about like they should I agree with them doing mid league nerfs and buffs and things like that. Um and all these changes like all these patches, we've gotten like 4 or 5 like very large patches since the game has come out. Or since 0.5 I mean came out. And at this point, like there's an insane amount of really strong builds. This is definitely out of like the three best leagues, 0.3, 0.4, and 0.5. Um, this is definitely, I feel like, the league with the most like powerful build diversity. Every 5 seconds, every day, there's a new most dumbass thing you can do in the game, and it's just like I did
Yeah.
this and farted here
Like
and
bitter dead
pooped over
gemling.
here.
instant snipe gemling,
Yeah,
basically anything gemling.
that's true. People are finding a
Since
lot of
like
cool things with the gemling now.
since like half the community is playing gemling this late
Like
into the league.
the Calguran skills were like nobody was playing them for like the first 2 weeks of the league, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden it's like, so I took like the rune trap one, and then I just like use it, and the boss like steps on a rune, then they all blow up, and he takes like 10 billion damage instantly. Or like
yeah.
that one where
And
it's
then
like,
also the whole bitter dead gemling build. Bitter dead is a Calgarian skill.
yeah,
So yeah,
um,
that's literally just the Calgarian skill is the damage of that build. So
so it's
that's
pretty
new.
exciting. And then also I feel like now, and now especially after 0.5.4, because we'll talk about like some of the alder tree coming out. Um, I really do feel like you can make tons of currency off of every mechanic now. Like this might be the most balanced all the mechanics have been. And
Yeah,
when the league
feels like peak of
released,
poison.
we were not saying that. Like, oh yeah,
No.
delirium is all risk for no reward. It is the most punch you in the cock, Thanos snap your entire bloodline thing of all
Yeah.
time. No reward. Like Abyss was easily the best, and they even buffed it, and it's still not play Abyss or die. Like it was already the best, and
I
they
feel
buffed
like
it, but
yeah.
they've buffed all the other ones too to such an extent that it's like Abyss is great, but everything else is now just also great. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, we'll get into the specifics of each of the mechanics. So I mean, we should go into
I mean, let's start with the mechanic of the league, right? Remnants and expedition.
yeah. Um,
Take the floor.
I feel like just in general for like, I mean, my quick thoughts on each mechanic, because if we're going to talk about each mechanic individually, and we're already 2 hours into the podcast, I feel like
Oh, who cares?
we should go at some sort of thickness. But um, I think my thoughts on Runes of Aldur is that it was so bad, so awful. Like the
Uh-huh.
loot that you get, the drop, it's just so bad. And then eventually, like people figured out how to get the logbook, so logbooks started dropping a whole lot more. I mean, unfortunately, their value went down, but you could get them more often. Um, they just buffed it over and over and over and over and over again. And to
Over
be
and
fair,
over.
it was still bad. And because I think like my thoughts and the way that I was wording it was that they they released the remnants mechanic weak, which you can't do that when it's your main league. Like Path of Exile goes by like all the leagues that are currently in the game and have been in the game for, more than a patch, more than just their release league, they will get points on the tree, or they will get in
Yeah.
PoE2 their individual Atlas tree. They will also get their tablets. I feel like they released remnants as if they had it, but they don't. So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, you get to the end game and you do an abyss, and it's like neat, I guess. Like it doesn't isn't it's not super
Yeah.
juicy, but then you do the abyss tree and
Oh,
you do the tablets, and then it's like, wow, I'm getting juice out the wazoo. This is great.
yeah. Yeah.
And then remnants was just like, yeah, so we released it weak with no way to make it strong. Have fun. Nice. Nice, man.
Yeah,
Super.
bro, every time, like, just as like a comment on that specifically, every time I think about doing expedition, I'm like, what the fuck do I do for tablets?
Yeah, no.
Like,
Just
what?
nothing.
Just I guess triple irradiated or like just pick. I don't know,
At this point,
abyss,
I mean,
breach. I don't know.
I'm super happy that they released the and is this the first time that
Yes,
the devs have ever done this where they release a tree
yes,
for a mechanic during the mechanic.
yeah,
Yeah, like its
yeah.
initial run,
First time.
which is like,
Yeah,
thank God that they did it because, and hot take, maybe, I honestly think they should do that so people can kind of see what the potential of it is. Like, they could release a mechanic and everyone's like, this shit sucks. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, the community thinks that the shit sucks, so we're not taking it core. But maybe if you released a tree and we could see like its potential in the finished product of the game,
Yeah.
that, or like if it came back next league, this is how it would come back, because it's always going to come back differently. It's going to come back with tablets and it's going to come back with a tree. How would it look then? Because we might change our opinion completely if it starts being like a juicy balanced mechanic. Um, and I feel like ever since the tree was added for it, I personally have been feeling it, have been feeling the tree. Like it actually adds a very noticeable amount of juice to the mechanic now, because like think about it, like every point of that tree that you click was juice that the mechanic just simply didn't like existed without before that. It's like, oh my god, this shit's so
Yeah.
ass. And I
I would
really
say
hope that they
personally, I
just
haven't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I really hope that they just go full like whole hog and say, okay, people like that we added the tree for it in 0.5.4. In 0.5.5, we're adding tablets. Like we're
Or
basically just
the
saying this is core before the league is even over.
I mean, I feel like everyone knew that it was going to be core before the league was over because they tied it to
Expedition.
Expedition. So
Yeah,
it's like
that's
it's
true.
either Remnant and Expedition are gone, or it's going core.
Everything that I have, praise the Lord.
Lord. Yeah, I mean, like it's like, and that would be crazy. Like, what if they did like a fucking ritual league where they just bolted something to ritual, and then they were like, "Well, that sucked." So,
Ritual
they just
disappears with
remove
it.
ritual and the new thing. Like, I mean, like I don't know. So
I
it's probably
mean,
always going core.
partially that's kind of fair because like if everyone hates Expedition, then we're like, okay, fine, we'll just slap some more juice into Expedition. Like we'll slap in a whole different mechanic into Expedition in addition to Expedition, and then everyone's like, nice, it still sucks. It's like,
Can you believe?
all right, man,
Like,
just
let's
delete
just
it.
take a guys, everyone who's still listening, 2 hours deep. Can we take a moment to realize that there used to be an expedition that didn't have remnants in them? Holy
I don't even like
fuck.
thinking about that.
Like, what the like, oh my god, whoever did that shit? Like, that's why one big bomb was meta because like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, hey,
Um,
I mean, say what you want about remnants, whether or not they have enough juice to them, at least before this change. But at least they added an inch of depth to Expedition because
yeah.
that shit
You
was ass.
you at least want to like look at the remnants depending on their slots, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really good.
Um. Yeah. I mean the the new runes landed how I kind of expected them to land. Like some are just not good and you don't even think about ever, and then some land
Oh,
and they're like really really fucking good multiple divines. Some are a shitload of divines like the legacy, but that's just like a cool
yeah.
mechanic overall. um and then I mean I want to ask you what your some of your like favorite new runes are, because I have like I have like three that I've written down just because I think they're thematically cool. Like 8% movement speed when sprinting for one of them. Like just getting movement speed when sprinting. It is objectively worse than 5% movement speed all the time. Um and then but like I just think it's cool overall. And then
Yeah.
the ones that have like 50 spirit but -2 per level, or 20% to all resist but -10% max resist. I think it's just real. Those two are just really good for twink characters. Like if you're making a second character, it's just another nice bonus to having a league starter. Because I just feel like
Yeah.
you unlock them at level 15, so it's like, hey, I'm going to go a summoner, and then it's like, okay, 50 spirit, but then you lose some per level. So like whenever you equip it as a low level, you're like, I can summon like two, maybe I don't know the actual values of like how much they are worth, but like maybe I can summon two more skeletons and that like increases my clear speed through the early.
Like one.
Yeah. a part of me
Yeah.
thinks that it should be -1 per level because the fact you can equip it at level 15 and it says -2 per level means that the moment you equip it, you're already down to 20 spirit.
Yeah, something like that, I
Bro,
think.
what? Like, make that level
I mean,
1.
surely it means minus every level after. I haven't even tested it,
I haven't tested
so
it either,
I
but
don't
like
know.
I've thought about it. That just sounds ass.
Fuck it. Hey, let's
If you want to do it right now, it's it's.
keep talking about the mechanic. I'll just do it right now.
I don't know if you have like a level 15 or sitting around, but um, yeah, I actually
Okay.
used the -20% to all resists, but then -10% max resists. I used that one on my second character until I could actually finally start like maxing out resistances and replace the chest. I just thought it was nice. That's it's basically plus 60% resist. Takes away from your max when you're not reaching it anyway because you're super low level with low stats.
Yeah.
So,
I have a 12. I don't have a 15.
time to get
So
grinding.
sucks. Um but yeah,
uh,
I mean, I don't know. Like my like let's do my thoughts on the mechanic, you know.
yeah. What are your thoughts?
I thought generally I'm gonna do a 1 to 10 for every mechanic. Um ooh. The runes on their own, I would in campaign I would have given them a 10. I thought they were fucking awesome. Some of the most rewarding campaign implementations of the mechanic, which of a league mechanic, which to me is so ironic because they already confirmed that they just won't show up in the campaign after this patch. Like they're gonna be a late game only thing.
Of course,
So
of course.
like the only time that I really thought in the beginning, I'm talking like day one, like acts 1, 2, 3, 4 on my first character, I thought remnants were fucking insane. They're dropping skill gems, they're dropping spirit gems, they're dropping support gems, they're
They're like,
dropping
here's a
early
list of anything you
exalts.
could want at this point in the game. Oh,
Yeah, they're dropping
okay,
like early
great.
exalts, they're dropping fucking augment what are they called? Architect orbs? No. Whatever, the orbs
The
that
augmentation.
add an augment slop slop. Why
Orb
can't I
of
remember them?
augmentation.
No, orb of augmentation makes a normal blue.
Oh
It's a little
yeah.
circular currency. It just pops an augment slot in your gear. I I can't think of what they're called right now. God, such a pleb. But yeah, like it gives you like anything and everything you want with some bonus rewards because they always design the league mechanics to when you participate them you get like a guaranteed support gem, a guaranteed this level gem. And in
Yeah.
this mechanic it would tell you as like a bonus reward at the bottom like you're going to get this. So like super cool implementation with that system. Awesome. Out of campaign, ugh.
Yeesh.
I would say
Yeesh.
maybe like I mean, and this sounds really bad, probably like a 3, maybe a 2
Yeah.
out of 10 for like how good it is. Like you get like a once every 20 maps 9 slaughter and then you click on it and it's like perfect orb of transmutation, 3 of them or something. Or like 3 orbs of chance. And it's like, "Oh my god, I went so long to get a high slot remnant and it's like basically 10 exalts or some shit." Like
Yeah.
it's just like the most worthless thing ever. But then also there's like a 9 slaughter that's like 10 divines or something. And like they're so outrageously unbalanced in like how good like for example, just as like a critique, 90% of the 6 slot remnants are worse than the 4 slot remnant that gives you a divine. Like 90% of them are
That's
just
true.
worse. So it's like the only 6 slot remnant I want over the 1 divine 4 slot remnant is the 6 slot remnant that gives me 3 divines.
True.
Like and maybe that's like a symptom of being a trade league Andy because maybe if you were SSF you'd be like, "Whoa, well I really want this specific rune or whatever, but that rune is worth like 30 exalts on trade, or like sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. So you're like, oh, I just want divines or like whatever. And I think like the reward, oh my god, like I think if you're not following, here's another thing with specifically this league. I think if you're not following a build guide or not making your own build guide that uses Kalgurin skills, I think Kalgurin skills are an utter flop for this league. I haven't once felt like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to use the Kalgurin skill now. It's never even crossed my mind.
Nah.
Like, at least as a quarterstaff, ice, and at one point lightning based player, I there's nothing that makes me like, whoa, I should do this. Like, there was like refutation at a point for like characters that use shields. It was like a skill that set your block chance to like 100%, and it was like super broken. Because it's basically just immunity to damage. Um, and it was like bugged where its cooldown would start once you press it instead of once the buff expires, which is what they intended. So if you
Yeah.
like did if you got cooldown reduction, you would basically get uh infinity life, like you would just be immune to everything. So they like patched that out. And wow, you're looking very illuminated over there, bud. Um
Yeah. Oh, fluorescent.
and then there's like Bitter Dead for Gemling, and that's like a really good build. Um and that's a Kalgarin skill, so big W. But other than like Bitter Dead and Refutation, I don't think I've like heard any player being like, yeah, I'm using this Kalgarin skill and it's super good. I I feel like the grand majority of them have kind of flopped, unfortunately. So since that's part of the package of the mechanic, that kind of sucks. And then just doing expeditions themselves this league. Um, keep in mind I'm at 0 points currently on
Yeah.
my expedition tree. Bro, they would continuously in the patches, they at first I think people interpreted it, there was like a line in the, I think 0.5.1 that was like some 3 slot remnants no longer appear in T15s.
Yeah.
And at least for me, I read that as T3s don't appear in T15s, or like 3 slot remnants don't appear in T15s. And I was like, thank you, Lord. And then I like played that same day.
They're
And
still
I think
there.
like my like second map, I saw a 3 slot, and I clicked it, and it was like one exalt. And I'm like, how does this possibly exist
Yeah.
at this stage of the
I
game?
just
Like
it shouldn't even be
how?
possible at all.
Like I think 5 should be the floor, or like maybe 4, because you argue like when you roll the divine one, it's cool and it's better than most of the
I think
5 and
4 should be
6s.
the floor. I think 3 should just be not possible. Like you stop seeing
Yeah,
2s. Why am I still seeing
yeah,
3s?
yeah. It's too late in the game, but like as someone who hasn't juiced the tree yet, and I've only done like 3 logbook maps, bro. I did a logbook map, and I didn't get a single remnant on my map that was over 5 slots, and
Oh yeah,
all
no,
of the
that happened to
five
me like
slots sucked.
3 times in a row before the
And I
last 2
was like, what
patches.
the fuck am I doing? And it was like the major
Hi.
discourse across podcasts were just like, yeah, if I look at all my remnants and they suck, I just leave the map without doing it. It's like
Oh
we
yeah.
can't we can't like that should not be like this is a mechanic that we spent a resource to get into, like the logbook. Like what do you mean you just leave? That there's
Oh,
no
it's a
other
massive
league
waste.
there's no other league mechanic in the game that I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave. If it's what I'm intending to play.
Yeah.
Like that I mean that's insanity. So I don't know how it
Walk up
is
to a
once it's
breach
like
hand. I'm
juiced.
just not gonna do it.
Yeah, I just can't be bothered.
It's
You
poopy.
know? So yeah, like 3 out of 10. I maybe my score will be a lot better. After this podcast, ironically enough. So maybe in the next reset, I think we should do another podcast episode. After we've played the reset some. Uh, Maybe my opinion will be a lot different once I've maxed out the tree. But for now, big stinker. I'd like it to go core because I think they can fix it. But right now, sucks. Nah, I almost never do it. Like my my Runes of Alder experience is I click on the remnant, I scan its rewards in like 1 second, and I just keep walking because they always suck.
Yeah. I
Yep.
think I would. I don't know. I mean, I haven't got a ton of experience. One thing is, I feel like I should have maybe done specifically like an expedition map, like a logbook map, now that the tree is out and kind of tested that. But I didn't. I would just know what I know from what appeared on my map. And I could have just been getting lucky, but I got like two remnants that gave me a divine, and then one that gave me a 10 divine today. Like I sent you the screenshot, I was like, oh my god. But that was in the interludes. I was getting extremely lucky in the interludes. So that was before my Atlas tree that I completed even like went into like effect. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of wondering if they like super buffed what you see in like the end campaign maps. Because if that's true, like, oh my god, my runes or my whatever the hell it is, my thingies that I'm finding are,
Remnants.
yeah, my
Yeah.
remnants are in like the interludes are better than my fucking tier 15 maps. What are we even saying right now? Like, why is this happening? Like
Yeah.
consistently. So I don't know. It is what it is. But I, I feel like some of the other ones, we can wrap up pretty quick. I mean, like
Yeah. Let's do
Abyss.
Abyss. Yeah.
So Abyss is still Abyss. It's still extremely goaded. Um, they made it easier to pull the thingies out of the fog, which is a one of the best farming strategies. The
They
only
also made
thing
the serpent a viable Amanu's Amanamu's void mob.
that's true, and
So
everybody loves that spinning and going immune. Oh, that's super fun.
yeah,
Love when
super
that
cool.
happens. Um, I feel like I've noticed abyss mobs like teleporting on my face and one shotting me a lot less. Like I feel like a lot less of them have that one modifier that does that where they like teleport onto you.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
I
can't
don't
remember
know.
what
I don't
it's
remember what
called,
it's called.
but like,
It's basically Super Shadewalker,
yeah,
but it's
that was
attached to
happening to
one of
me
the
every 5 seconds in 0.3. That is like how half my deaths that league happened. I swear to God. But now they're like not doing that. Now it's all just like the little serpents that you pull out of the fog, and then they do a little jig on it, and that I don't know, one random rare mob takes like 20 seconds to kill. It's super fun.
yeah.
But overall, Abyss is still Abyss. I mean, some of the biggest, I'd say probably the biggest change to Abyss this patch is just the recent changes that they made, actually making the pinnacle worth it. Like the first ring I did got a pretty high percent amount of evasion. I was like, evasion on a ring, that could be interesting. And then it gave me deflection based off evasion on the same ring. And I was like, holy shit, wait, we can get evasion and deflection on a ring. Now I know a lot of people go more, damage for their ring, but just the idea of that was very, very cool to me. Like the fact that you could get that. And I've only done them once since the change happened. So there's a ton of other changes that you can get. I think I've always thought the ring could be like one of the coolest uniques in the game.
Just all
If
its
you
mods
could,
suck.
yeah, if you could get like more consistently actually get good mods. But it
Yeah.
just didn't have any good mods. And now it has a decent amount of them, it seems. So,
Yeah.
yeah. What are your
Totally.
overall thoughts on
Oh,
Abyss?
I mean,
Abyss?
Abyss. In comparison to Runes of Elder, this is gonna be a lot more positive. Abyss is a 9 out of 10. It
Yeah.
took me a really long time to get around to it. It was my second last mechanic that I actually filled out the tree for. So I didn't do it for a grand majority of my total playtime, but by the time I got back to it, it felt like coming home, you know? It
it's
felt
too
like
good.
the nostalgia of zero point 0.3. I was like, dude, and this was like right off the heels of pre-nerf Delulu, which was like fucking making me mauled out of my mind. I
True.
was generational crash out at pre-nerf Delulu, just killing my character like 6 times and basically resetting my level. But for Abyss, I mean, Abyss pits are awesome. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Getting really good omens from Anamanu's Void rares is awesome. The mechanic itself is actually fun to do. I get, one of the reasons it's a 9 and not a 10. I feel like this league, especially, the boxes don't do fucking anything. I click on so many abyssal coffers, abyssal whatevers.
Oh
They
yeah.
they don't drop shit. And I feel like they used to drop a lot more. So I'm like, like Shadow Nerf, I don't know. But the omens are still cool. Abyssal Depths themselves also feel like, I don't know, they're kind of shadow nerfed. Like it felt like that way before the patch. And now even with the close to the surface node talented, like even with my maps modifiers applying to Abyssal Depths, I feel like I haven't gotten anything of note from bothering to do an Abyssal Depth. I'm like,
I've only
yeah,
I've thought about it. I've done a lot of abyssal depths. I only dropped one divine the whole league and like just dropped it off of
yeah,
like a rare in the abyssal depths. And
yeah,
also, I that is something I forgot to mention. Abyssal depths, I was actually getting like a decent amount of things at the start of the league, like whenever I first started entering some abyssal depths. Then I could have swore they shadow nerfed it. Because after like 0.5.1 or 0.5.2, whichever one it was, I started just getting nothing from the end, like even like the chests at the end. And
yeah.
then thankfully in point three, they made it whenever they made the change so that like you always get like a preserved bone from like Kulamak. And then on top of that, they basically said that you always get abyssal currency. Now it's not guaranteed to be the good ones, but you'll always get abyssal currency from the final chests at in the abyssal depths. I haven't farmed a shitload of
Yeah.
abyss since that patch happened, but I mean I have to assume that that makes them better if you're always getting some kind of abyssal currency. Um,
I mean,
in
maybe
some
like
way.
it's one of the problems is that we're at the point in the league where only ancient currency is worth anything.
Yeah.
Um, so like that, that kind of sucks. Like my filter actually hides
All the other
preserved
ones.
level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. But yeah, like I feel like Abyssal Depths kind of suck. I haven't seen one of the bosses. Do they not exist anymore?
I've only seen one the whole league. I think the
Bro,
whatever they
what
go,
the
the
fuck
like
is
the brood
that?
mother, the abyss
It's
mother,
like
the
the
well
I don't
mother.
know. There's like the lightless stone. I don't know. There's a couple of like there was like a couple of like mini like
Oh,
mid level bosses
you mean
attached
like
to Abyss.
the
Yeah, the
different
one with
versions
the
of the abyssal
balls doing the
depths?
roly and the yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
those actually
Like
a decent amount of times.
they were there for the quest. I haven't personally gotten them like just running like Abyss maps and whatnot
I swear I got them like three
afterwards.
maps in a row at one point. It's definitely all luck of the draw. Like you'll just never see them, or you'll see a lot of them. Like
Yeah.
I had because Kolomak was so ass and all of his drops were so ass. I just wasn't doing him. I had like 6 invitations when the upgrades came out or like when he
Yeah.
ended up getting his buff. And now the invitations I think are worth I checked today like 1.6 or 1.7 divs now, which is crazy because they were literally like exalts, like one
Yeah.
exalt for a
I mean,
finger.
like they were also like it was like 10 div they got to the like half hour before the patch released because people wanted to like I don't know run like Infinity Coolamac after the patch. But
Yeah.
yeah, they really shot up.
I
Um,
am super happy that Mac always drops a preserve. I think that that's just cool. I think him having like
it's not
more
preserved, it's
uniques to
ancient.
drop. Oh yeah. Ancient. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, my final thought on Abyss, I believe, like since I thought about it, the Kulimak is he still flops over. He is by
Yeah.
far the weakest pinnacle probably in the game. Like you fight him
Yeah,
6 times
absolutely.
and you shoot like I shoot 3 attacks at him. And it's not just because I'm hyper end game. Yes, I'm hyper end game. But like the other bosses at least lasted a little longer than that. Kolomak doesn't even get a fucking animation off before I wipe his ass from the planet. Like
Yeah, like
every time.
I freezed him midway through his like first animation, and then he just dies
Yeah.
like
Like he
before he
doesn't get
gets
to
it
play
off.
the game.
Yeah, like yeah, he doesn't do anything. So yeah, that was like for me the reason that Abyss is 9 out of 10 is that playing the mode is actually like life is a dream. I am in a movie. My life is a movie, and life is awesome. But like Coolamak fucking sucks, and he don't drop shit.
Every boss is a joke in
So
that.
so now he drops an ancient currency always, so that's good. And he has some like cool new drops. I haven't seen what they actually are, but good. It would be a 10 if Coolamak was both challenging and very rewarding.
Yeah.
Um, because
Because
he's
also
not,
he
he
himself, like
loses
literally,
the point.
I feel like, well, I guess that's kind of what they're buffing. Yeah. I was gonna say he himself basically drops nothing, but I mean they made it so that
Yeah.
he drops ancient and then has more divine or more
It's just when you compare him to
meats.
the other pinnacles, like Tengmazu, he drops like the Raven Shard that lets you anoint your lets you anoint your helmet, and a whole bunch of other like we'll get there when we get to the other mechanics. But like comparing the pinnacle drops, like Coolamak is for poor boys. Like he drops fucking nothing.
Yeah.
So like I'm glad that they're trying to make that better.
We can go
So yeah,
into
I bet
Delirium.
Delirium.
Delirium was the most highest super Jesus risk hell on earth reward or wait danger maxing mode
Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
the least to show for it.
Yeah.
Whenever the game released, like putting that shit the closest mechanic to the start of the end game
It's like
was
3 maps away from the start or something.
actually just the worst.
It's
Like, how
diabolical.
can you do that? Because I feel like Breach, but not Breach, Delirium kind of is that mechanic where it's like, I don't even solely think of it as a mechanic all on its own. I think of it as like that end game mechanic that you stack on top of others to make everything like that is the mechanic that you
That's
do when
kind
you
of
want to
how it
test your
exists, yeah.
character in its final
Yeah.
form. And it's like, yeah, so like it's the hardest thing with the least reward, and it has like a shitload of bugs. Oh, and also it is right there at the entrance. Have fun, bro. I was dodging delirium mirrors. Like if I went
Yeah.
into a map, there's a delirium mirror at the beginning. I just don't walk through it. Complete zero risk or wait, zero reward to that. Like all risk. I hated it.
Mm. Another point before it's my turn because it's just actually that bad. You have to get like 10 points into the delirium tree to start dropping simulacrum splinters.
Yeah, how weird is that?
What the fuck is that?
I thought
I
my
was
game was
literally
bugged that
doing
I wasn't
yeah,
like
I
dropping
was
it.
doing my first couple deliriums and I was like, where the fuck are my splinters? Like, what am I what are we doing here?
But you know what? I feel like another boon to like if they allowed us to start from the individual mechanics that I just thought of is that if you got to if they do move delirium because it is a lot stronger and like it is that powerful, and they switch it with ritual, they like take the community's feedback. If you want to start like anytime you want to go to delirium, if you just like get to start from the area, that would actually be a nice quality of life because they they make it so that you have to do like your first simulacrum before you can anoint
Yeah,
now, like on your amulet. So they
yeah,
basically just removed something that was like in the game at base just from like clicking on an emotion. And they
yeah.
said, now you have to do the mechanic. So I, that's a choice. And I don't even think that that's like a horrible choice. I do find it weird that it's like well, all we have to do is find the lightless passage in like Act 2 or whatever the hell it is, and then we get to like do the abyss. But I mean, I guess that makes sense because there is like low level abyss bones like
Yeah.
to desecrate. So it makes sense, and it does it's just odd that they took that thing away but they didn't take other mechanic things away. Like why did you choose that? I don't know. Anyway, other things that came with Delirium, basically getting essences but better for your jewels, I thought was a cool change. That they added a whole bunch of things like that. The fact that you can anoint your helmet, the fact that you can you anoint rings now, or is that a breach thing?
No,
You,
you can't.
I could have swore you could anoint something else, but you can double anoint your amulets. Well, I don't think you can double anoint. You have to find the double anoint
Yeah.
from the whatever the hell it is, the super
Loathsome
extremely
mire.
annoying, awful, terrible, loathsome
It is
mire.
quite loathsome
It
indeed.
is so bad. Like, can we just make it small? Like, I get it, but like, holy shit, the things Jonathan will do to
Uh,
put your balls in a vice or to put your cock and balls in a vice. Like, what are we even saying?
I have every bad opinion on the internet, I swear to God, but like I really don't give a fuck about Loathsome Mire.
Oh my
Like
god, bro.
I go in there and I'm
I'm
like,
I'm making a
I'm gonna
hate thread about you, bro.
I'm gonna follow the blood, and then I get my amulet and I'm like, okay, goodbye. And it really like I can see it being dreadful if you don't know to follow the blood. The second you know to follow the blood,
That's
it's
true.
so whatever. It's
That's
so
true. It
whatever.
is
It's like,
significantly worse if you don't. Because the first few times I didn't know, I literally walked for like 20 minutes through the largest zone that's ever been placed into a Path of Exile game.
yeah.
And like, bro,
Yeah.
it never ends.
Fair enough.
How do they have the time to make this shit? Like, oh my god, it is awful.
Fair enough. But like, yeah, if you know how to if you know to follow the blood, it's completely like I don't know. It's whatever. I'm in there for like a minute, maybe two. Get my amulet. Cool. So, but you know, they could still reduce it for people who are very anti loathsome mire. Which I mean, that seemed to be the big feedback the first couple of days of the league being out for people who were doing
Oh
delirium. They
yeah.
were like, "Why does loathsome mire exist?" Pretty funny, but
um I think what else came with Delirium? The progress bar, I like that. The fog
huge.
is now a little less like it's a little less opaque. So like you can or it's more opaque, whatever the term would be. So you can kind of like see more color even in whenever a map is delirious. And on top of that,
Yeah,
they added like the different colors of mirrors, which is pretty cool. Um, Simulacrum was pretty lame or whatever. I feel like until they added this most recent change where you get like the three picks where it's like one is increased pack size, another one is increase um strength, but also it's basically just added effectiveness, but like increased strength but increased reward. And then there's one that's add a boss. The weirdest thing ever, and we'll get to ritual, but they basically said, "Hey, ritual is the thing is the basically a mode like one of the key features that really drug players in was like, hey, it's so cool how during your Rite of the Nameless, you can gather up all these bosses from your maps, and then and like your final few maps of the Rite of the Nameless,
right on
you'll
nameless.
be fighting like five, six, seven, six, seven.
Next
Like
seven.
all the basically in your final Rite of the Nameless map, all five or six if you've gotten the node, map bosses plus any rogue exiles because they count as bosses, plus any summoning circle bosses that you've killed in your last like six maps are going to start all appearing at once, and you have to fight them all at once. Complete chaos. But if your build could actually do it, it was like fucking insane. And they removed it, and then they said, okay, now we spawn them one at a time. Now, my opinion immediately upon seeing that, and then I found to be everybody's opinion because I'm not unique at all, but it seems to be just common sense. Why would they not add that? Like, that is the perfect.
The
That should
node.
be exactly what they should be thinking about. Like, isn't that the whole idea of the multi choice nodes? Like, isn't that
Yeah.
the whole fantasy of adding the multi choice nodes? Why?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Um, if you can't handle the meat, then you can click the stay out of the kitchen. But if you
And it'll
can't
take
handle the heat,
longer, but you know.
yeah. But then they went along, and you could argue thematically, like I did think about this. Delirium is looked at as like this is supposed to be like the peak difficulty. So fighting multiple bosses, it could be a thing. I don't see why it shouldn't be a thing. Um, but yeah, taking away from ritual and just saying you have to play it this way, and then like one patch later being like, okay, so if you choose the add a boss, um, for like all 7 rounds of your simulacrum, to like add a boss to every next wave, you'll get to wave 7 and you'll be fighting 7 bosses at the same time, plus any of the actual like delirious bosses like Omniphobia and like the other two ones that nobody cares about. The other two much less cool ones.
What?
Um, you'll be fighting all of them at
No. I
once,
mean
and it's like, what are
you
we
can't like
doing?
Omniphobia over Croesus because Croesus is the one that drops voices.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Corrosis is the goat, and then Omniphobia is the poop
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Omniphobia,
yeah.
he
Obviously,
definitely hits harder, but
nah, he's just a fat
you
guy. I
know,
just love him.
yeah. I mean, he's a
Oh,
chunky little fella.
and like the 200% delirious. I don't want to ramble on too long. It's just cool.
Ooh.
It's neat. It's a big
Yeah.
challenge for sure.
Yeah.
But
Awesome that it's in the game.
I think that the mechanic after the simulacrum changes where they added those 3 different like mirror options between the waves, and the nerfs to difficulty and buffs to reward that they've done twice over now to the actual like deliriousness on map has
Yeah.
put the mechanic in a very good spot in my opinion. So
Yeah.
what do you think?
All right. Yeah. I mean, mine is going to be a little bit because we probably should wrap up relatively soon. Mine's going to be a little bit less winded. Delirium. Say 8 out of 10. For how much it has frustrated me, I think it's mainly because of the lack of reward in comparison to the difficulty, which they've like tackled over and over. They've just nerfed it, buffed the rewards, yada yada yada. 200% delirium is like really cool, but it seems really annoying to set up is the only like complaint. And for people who have like the max juicer brain, um,
True.
it's like so to get the 200% deli, you have to do a grand mirror, and grand mirrors only show up off of procs, off of your atlas. So you like only get it sometimes, and then it goes to like a random map. So then you have to like travel to that map, and then you have to hope that that map is close enough to the city that you want to
Yeah.
run, so that you can put delirium fog over the whole city, so you can run 200% deli, 4 tablet, whatever mechanic you want, abyss, breach, more deli, but it's usually abyss or breach.
Can you put Red of the
Because
Nameless on a 200% deli map?
yes, but it doesn't matter. The ritual mobs are not impacted by delirium.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But I mean, you'd still effectively
It's
be doing both
yeah,
strategies at once.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like it's somewhat like yeah. You would just do the thing where you kill the boss while it's 200% delirious. It drops like the boss like the potent liquid, whatever, potent emotions that you get from bosses. And then you would backtrack the whole map to like do your rituals anyway. But um like delirium doesn't make ritual mobs any harder or more rewarding. So it's kind of like asynchronous. You can do both at the same time, but in comparison, delirium directly buffs abyss and breach mobs. Um it's like I think the most currency farming strategy that is currently in the game according to like the Giga Juicers is like max party play, like six party member rarity bot, 200% deli city breach prints like 100 divines a map or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I saw a stream clip of a max party max rarity bot, 200% deli 4 tablet breach city fucking Yaba Palooza. And Fubgun was like he wanted to see how ridiculous it got, so he joined a party like that, and it dropped like they did one hand and it dropped like 18 divs or something. Um, so
That's pretty
gets a
nuts.
little ridiculous. Gets a little ridiculous. But yeah, so like Delhi, I think that's exactly where it exists, and I think it's cool for a mechanic to behave like that. Delhi is a layer that you put onto another mechanic, and not really a mechanic that you solely grind just on its own. Like you can, I don't think anyone's really like cared to yet because I believe all if you like triple up on delirium tablets, it just makes the delirium like even stronger. Like it's basically just added monster effectiveness. And then I
Yeah.
think you get more emotions. But overall, like I feel like you just run Deli to bolt effectiveness onto any other strategy and then just get more loot from that strategy. And then sometimes it tinks like a potent liquid melancholy and you just get like 3 extra divs from that map just because you're running Deli.
Yeah.
So if you can afford to, there's never any reason not to do Deli. But it's also like it's not its own targeted farm mechanic. It just kind of exists as a juice layer. And I think that's actually cool for a mechanic to serve that purpose. Like it's cool. I like it. Tengmazu, unfortunately, he was a fucking joke
Yeah.
because I didn't do him as my first boss, so I just like walked in and I just slapped him and he fucking blew up. But the boss itself looked pretty cool. The arena was pretty cool. I like how when you like beat him because it's all actually just technically in his mind, he throws like a baby piss boy fit because like the lore is supposed to be that it like Tengmazu was an Ezamite child that was like corrupted by something. It really looks like the Bodak was it like stabbed him in the head and it made him evil
Yeah.
for some reason. Like I'm pretty sure that's the lore angle is that the Bodak created Tengmazu. But yeah, when you beat him, he throws like a fucking piss fit, like what are you doing? Get out of my head! And like a giant hand just like grabs you and like throws you out of his head. So like
I really like the
really
shatter
really
screen
cool
effect
animation. Yeah,
at
yeah,
the end
yeah.
of
When the fist just
Grand
like
Mirror.
grabs you. It also
Yeah.
oh yeah, true that too. And like yeah, I mean, he really fucking snatches your ass like that fist like it like comes in. Um his loot is like pretty shit other than the Raven shard that lets you anoint the helmet. Um which is like the most rare thing from him,
Yeah.
of course.
It was a big
But
disappointment that the
Raven flight staff.
yeah, the Ravenflock staff is just like butt cheeks. Everyone's
Yeah, it's
like
complete poo
a
poo.
lot of PoE2 nerds who like Righteous Fire, me, um,
Yeah.
were like, Yippee, Righteous Fire and PoE2. It is so completely fucking irrelevant because the numbers are so shit. And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know how that isn't one of the things that like the devs took a look at. I mean, I'm sure there's
Like has
like,
been patched yet.
yeah, I find it weird. Just like buff its numbers. Like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people were kind of assuming like this was the test run for Righteous Fire being in the game and seeing how it would function. and it seems like nobody's actually doing it because it's just so
Yeah,
shit.
I've seen genuinely nothing.
It's
Like from
so
what I
shit.
saw, people tried it like the first couple of days and they were like, "Wow, this is unbelievably ass."
Yeah.
Like
It's just
it's
undiscussed after that point.
shockingly bad. Yeah, and then it's just people just abandon it completely. So, oh well. They'll probably buff it. I agree it's weird that it hasn't happened yet, but yeah, Delhi, 8 out of 10. I mean, extremely frustrating at the start of the patch, but they've really they've nerfed it a lot to be like, you know, fucking reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, next one, mostly you talking here because it's gonna be Breach. You've done a lot. Breach was like probably if you were to put like the hours, I would assume it's like your main mechanic of the
Absolutely.
league.
I probably have like 2 days just in breach.
And for
Like
me, it's
I've done like
literally the least mechanic I've played.
uh,
I've the
yeah.
mechanic halfway complete. Like the moment I could fight
Bro.
Zesht, I fought him, and those were the last 6 Atlas points I ever put into Breach. And I was like, I'm done
Bro.
with Breach. But I mean, Breach has gotten multiple buffs since then. To be fair to
Yeah.
me, I did it before even like the 0.5.1 buffs hit Breach, where they were like, yeah, the hands are shits, and they like added more to the hands. And then
Yeah.
like recently they've buffed breach strongholds. They've also added better catalysts. Well, not better, I guess, just different catalysts, but they are worth a lot
Yeah.
because it's minion catalysts. A lot of people go in minion builds, and then they added another type of catalyst. Um, a very interesting thing was discovered where you can literally get like +6 level to minions on your amulet.
Yeah.
Um, because if you go with the catalyst, get it to 40% rarity, and then you can go with those things that increase the rarity beyond 40, like beyond its current max by up to 10%.
Yes, from Ball
But every
Temple.
time, yeah, it's on Vol,
Yeah.
where every time you click it though, it has a chance to destroy the item. But if you can
Yeah,
make it to
those are like, by
50%,
the way, those are like 3 div a pop now
oh,
for those like 1% clickies that can fail.
that can
They're like
literally
3 div
destroy your item.
now.
It's funny. I mean,
Yeah, no.
they keep adding more to Vault. I mean, we're gonna get it, but we're gonna get to it. But in 0.5.4, not only did
It's
they
good to
add a
be a Ball
tree,
Temple enjoyer.
yeah, not only did they add a new tree to Expedition, they added like 4 new currencies to Vol Temple again. Um, I don't even remember exactly what they do, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Um, yeah, Breach has a lot of good shit going for it. I honestly think that despite what my feelings towards Breach were towards the start of this league whenever I did it, I'm gonna make my way back to it. Um, it definitely has, I feel like, some of the most different ways to juice your gear on your character because it has like the most new bases that you can't get anywhere else. It has multiple new bases for every piece of jewelry and belt. Um, it has the catalyst to go over your rarity. You can only get it from Breach from the womb tree, and then the womb tree itself is just overall pretty strong. People thought the way was going to be a hatch currency directly, but if you replace, it's the currency tree that you replace with the you just make
Yeah,
it always do the
there's a node on
catalyst.
it where it always creates catalysts.
And
Yeah.
that is definitely the way because then you just sell the catalyst for more currency anyway.
Absolutely. You get way more currency from the catalyst than you ever would from just trying to print raw currency.
But
Like
yeah,
if you land a refined Reaver catalyst, it's like 7 divs right now.
yeah,
Just on one of them.
I'll say just
Um
I mean just take it away. My only closing thought so far
yeah,
really is like Zesht was Zesht. He's still the same guy.
yeah, yeah.
He was there last
I
patch.
want him to be harder. Um, so the bias in me, because it's been kind of like the mechanic I've done the most. I want to say 10 out of 10, but I unfortunately have to go with like 9 out of 10 because I don't think anything is quite 10 out of 10 in its current iterations.
Yeah,
A lot
except
of
for
them are
Troll.
really good. Yeah, no.
Nah, nah.
Um, no. I would do 9 out of 10 for Breach. The Breach hands really good. Like we were just talking about with in the deli section, Breach hands some of the most profitable things you can do in the game. Period. Um, even as like someone who isn't doing like party juice with 200% deli, like if I just have good Breach tablets in a city, I'll get like 2 to 3 divs a map pretty reliably without having to like really,
Gilbert.
worry too much about it. The breach tree itself, fucking awesome. I love the new belts, the new rings, the new amulets, all of that stuff. Early on, it was pretty funny. Early on into doing the breach, uh, the tree itself, the womb gifts and all of that, I was something of like a belt vendor because I wanted a belt for myself, but I wanted a belt that gave me energy shield and triple res. Unfortunately, the energy shield stat is in the caster modifiers, which means anytime I roll other caster modifiers that aren't energy shield, it's a fail. But fortunately, because I wasn't a spellcaster, fortunately, spellcaster mods are really valuable for people who are playing spellcasters, but also don't want to do breach. So what ended up happening is like if I would get like spells have 55% increased damage during any flask effect, or spells have 30% increased crit chance during any flask effect, or spells have 30% increased cooldown recovery rate,
With Lavianka's
or like
sprites, those are pretty broken.
yeah, with Lavianga's spirits, it's just always active.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I was something of a belt vendor early on, where like I would just roll like a T1 variant of any of those modifiers, and I could just sell it for a div, and someone would buy it because they like the rest of the belt could be completely dog shit, and just because it has that modifier, they would buy it for like a div. Um, so
I really feel
that
like
that was like good early on.
they've added a lot of like I feel like they've had to have added a shit ton of during flask effects, like
Yeah,
modifiers to the game recently because I swear I did not hear about Lavianga's spirits at any point until this league, and now it's like everywhere.
it's lit-
Like my
it's literally
plant
because
build uses it, your
it's
build
literally
uses
because of
it.
breach.
Yeah,
It's because of breach. Yeah, those modifiers came from the breach tree. So big bug. Um,
and there's new passive nodes that have to do with it too.
yeah, true. There's some like I don't know. They do this like weird flavor thing where like the ranger is like a alchemist or herbalist on the side. So she has some like attack speed, attack damage, yada yada during flask effects. So pretty sure there's a movement speed during flask effect.
Yeah, I think so.
All that nonsense. Um, so yeah, that's really cool. Nowadays, I'm a humble catalyst farmer, which I think is the end stage of any breach tree. Once you're like satisfied with like you've printed your own gear, I feel like you pursue the rings and the amulets and the belts while you still need to make your own. And then once you've gotten the mods you want from that part of the tree, you just become a humble catalyst farmer. And biggest W change, you had to before one of the hotfix patches, you had to put a womb gift into the tree, birth it, it would close out the tree UI. You'd have to reopen the tree UI, re-put in a womb gift, and rebirth it for every single womb gift that you would do. And you would have like 3 full inventories of these things ready to like go when you have like all of your blood maxed out. Um, they just did a patch where if you control click the birth button on your first thing, your cursor becomes like a birther cursor, and you can just click on your entire inventory, and you do it in like literally 2% of the time. Fucking life changing.
Mm-hmm.
Almost want to give it a 10 out of 10 for that. But where it loses points, hives fucking suck. even after the several patches where they've tried to buff hives, they
Mm,
fucking suck. Big reason why, for people who aren't too experienced with breach yet, if you have a hive on your map, it blocks all of your hands from spawning in the map, even if you have breach tablets in. So that means for a hive to be worth it, it has to be as good as 3 breach hands or 4 in a city. It's not. It gives you like 25% ish more hive blood than 1 hand will. So which means when you're doing 3 hands with the breach strategy, it's like a third ish as good as if you were just doing hands. And it's supposed to be a reward. Like it's supposed to be better than hands because it's a similar mechanic to like Delirium Grand Mirrors and Overrun by the Abyss, over on Abyss. Like a lot of these trees have like a sometimes when you complete a map or sometimes when you complete the mechanic, you get a super juice version of the mechanic on a different map. That's
yeah.
what Hive is supposed to be. It just doesn't give any fucking rewards. I don't know why, like I don't know. And they tried to fix it and it still isn't good, so like I don't know what's going on with that. Like I feel like what they need to do is they need to add modifiers onto base breach tablets that roll for hives. Because right now the only way you can make a hive better is the unique Ray class besieged tablet has hives spawn 2 to 5 based on the roll more packs of monsters. So that's literally the only way to juice them that is unique to them. Like you can get like increased quantity of hive blood found or increased quant of womb gifts found, and that's like very cool for hives. But hands also drop those.
Yeah.
So it's just again better to do hands. So like there's supposed to be a reward and they just suck, so that sucks. And then Zesh, his rewards are fucking fantastic. I didn't know if you knew this. I didn't because they're so rare and we're relatively, like I would say it's fair to say this is our first league where we're really going crazy with the game. Zesh has 4 lineage gems that are like the same price as Garukon's. They're insanity.
How much are Gargons?
Like 500 divs.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
Zesh has 4 of them. And
Oh, okay.
I've never seen any of them drop. They're basically they all follow the same pattern, so it's based on one of the breach lords. Like Tool, Ulnatal, Esh, and the fourth one I don't remember because he's literally not even in the game, but his name is for the purpose of the gem existing, I guess. But they all follow gain 40% extra as chaos, and then based on which breach lord it is, it's chaos damage also contributes to freeze, shock, flammability, or bleed for like fizz, lightning, fire, ice. So
Yeah.
just gain 40% chaos. That's the largest gain in the game. I'm pretty sure. Like most
40%? Oh,
stop,
for sure.
yeah, most stop around like 25 ish. For like really good modifiers. It's just like gain 40 and then also like your chaos damage can do an elemental ailment. So they're super good. Um
And then
Never seen
also
them.
your Jesus.
Probably never will.
Oh,
Um
no. Nope. No, you never will.
yeah, no. But like so he has those and then he also has controlled metamorphosis, which is like a unique diamond that it does earlier in the podcast hours ago by the way. The Oracle feature where when you pick a keystone, you can like do there's like a little ring that you can allocate nodes without connecting them.
Yeah.
Controlled Metamorphosis also does that from Zesh. I've actually dropped one. I'm using it in my current build.
I've seen
So
that. Isn't it like
that
a
was a
literally
it was a
today I
super
saw
big.
that. It's like 70, 78 divs or something.
Yeah, it can be a lot. I just used it for myself because like I had a use case. I unspec'd like 15 nodes. I
Yeah.
only took the notables that I wanted and I put the nodes elsewhere. So
It's
it
in
was huge. It was a huge upgrade for me.
it's either in his in Rex's expensive or mirror version of his build on his build guide. It's in there.
Probably expensive. They're not that bad. Like they're less than
Yeah.
100 div. So probably expensive.
Um
But yeah, Breach is awesome. We should move on. 9 out of 10.
yeah.
Unless you have any other.
No, I don't believe I have anything else specific to say about it. We can move on to Ritual now. Um Ritual, pretty cool. Uh it's kind of just gambling, kind of just spinning the slot
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was pretty cool. Fighting multiple bosses at once was cool while it lasted. Fighting them one by one makes it a bit more frustrating and slow. And like after doing it the other way, it almost like makes it even more annoying to do it.
Yeah.
You know, not that way. Um, so I mean, I guess that's just my thoughts on that. Um, I mean, honestly, like, what else can you say? I mean,
It's Bodoc. I mean, the
yeah,
mechanic itself, there's not a lot to say.
yeah, the mechanic is all right. Like, you can get high tier, you can get like Omens of Woodland, you can get the Sinistral X.
And dextral annulment.
Yeah, there's the one that's like almost 9 or 10
Yeah.
divs last time I saw it. It's like
Yeah, it's
Dextral
the it's
Annihilation or
I'm pretty
whatever.
sure it's the Sinistral.
Yeah, it could be the
It's the
Sinistral.
remove it's
It's
for some
purple.
reason suffixes are just more valuable
Yeah,
to remove. I don't know why. Advanced crafter knowledge, I don't know.
but yeah, I mean, I definitely the coolest part about the mode itself. I mean, the QOL with like them basically putting the yellow paint with like going to the other ritual altars is very very nice. To be fair, yeah. But other than that, there's kind of one strategy for ritual that I hope they kind of work on, where it's just like you're just kind of going for rerolls and less expensive rerolls, and that's really about it. Um,
Yeah.
and then you're just praying to find one of the belts or
Yeah,
more of
the
the
mode is
omens.
complete ass until you get Headhunter or Mage Blood.
Yeah,
And
then it's the best thing ever.
I ran it for like 3 days and I didn't get Mage Hunter or Mage whoa. I didn't get Mage Blood or Headhunter, so therefore the mode is still ass.
That's true.
Um hey,
Um,
it's what it is.
but in my thoughts, Bodak is the coolest pinnacle. He was literally like
Absolutely.
the third pinnacle that I fought, I think. And still he was like strong enough. He's like the only one you can go to with like a super built character and die to, because his shit deals like an
It's
unresistible
scary.
damage type. Like when you're in the shadow that like moves across the ground for literally like
Yeah.
1 second, you are gone. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's crazy. He throws a lot of shit. Sometimes he'll like jump up into the air and do the thing where he like lands, and it's like Geonor's but on crack because he does it like two
Yeah.
times faster than Geonor. So it's like, oh yeah, just dodge out of the circle, bro. If you're not immediately like dodging out of the circle by the time he goes up into the air, you're just being hit by him. Because like he'll like
Yeah.
jump up and boom, he'll come down immediately, and it will one shot you or put you at like 1 HP if it hits you. Um, and plus, I mean, the zone is just so cool. Like the complete darkness, um, his voice, his character model is badass. Like the the aspects coming in to help you, following the grass trail is super
Yeah.
neat.
The goddesses. I wanted to say about them during the fight, by the way, I've never died to the Bodoc. The closest I got was the goddess who has the spear during their little anime cutscene where she comes down and she like stabs forward and it creates a bit like a path of light that shoots out.
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to follow that the very first time I did the fight. So
Oh
I
yeah,
started
me
running
too.
along the spear light and then it faded and I was like, "Oh, no, no,
Oh
no,
no
no,
no
no,
no
no."
no 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 no!
So
Wait wait
yeah,
wait wait
like
wait wait!
I literally thought because it was like creating a line of light, I was like, "Well, doy, you follow that."
Obviously.
And no, it's just like an anime thing to look cool, I guess.
Um.
Um, I just want to point that out. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bodak is very cool. I think it definitely shows that the devs were like, I mean, they didn't use the term labor of love, but they said it is the longest or like the hardest to design boss fight that they've put into either of the two games.
Yeah.
And it took them like the longest to actually like make him and make that fight. And I think you can just tell whenever you play it.
Oh,
Like
it's super good.
if Ritual has anything going for it, it's the Bodoc. And it's so funny because the guy where you get the head of the king from to like go down and fight him is
Yeah, the
such
Nameless
a
King.
pushover. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
nameless king, like
He
he should
used to
stay
be the old
nameless. Like we
Pinnacle,
don't need to
bro.
know who's
Like,
behind that mask. For
true.
his sake, he should stay nameless.
Yeah.
Um, man, what
We
an
would drag that
embarrassment.
broad if we knew his name.
That's
Yeah.
true. I would cancel him on Twitter. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but what are your thoughts on Retro overall? Or is I mean, or is that
Oh
really just
man,
all there
like
is to say
it's
about it?
gotta be, yeah, like I'm not gonna I have no more thoughts, so I'm just gonna give the number. I'm gonna say 5 out of 10 because the base mechanic fucking sucks. I don't find the gameplay that enjoyable.
Yeah,
It's not really annoying because almost everything it does is chaos related in terms of like what the actual altars do. And I was playing a CI build this league, so I'm just literally immune to chaos, so I don't have to pay attention to almost any of the actual altar mechanics themselves. So it's not that it was annoying, it was just
Ugh.
it just takes a while. It's like a minute per altar
Yeah.
because you're like killing waves and waves and waves, and the boss spawns, and then yada yada, and you do all this, and then I just like click reroll, and then I don't get my thing, but maybe I got a whittling, so there you go, and then like
It-
that's all the fucking mechanic is. So that's why the score is so low. It would be lower if the Bodoc didn't exist. The Bodoc is why it gets a 5 out of 10 for me. I
That's
think he
true.
was awesome. He was one of the last bosses I did, and he was still like fucking my health bar up. I could only imagine if I went and did ritual first when my character was much weaker. Bodoc probably would have fucking did numbers on me.
But, I mean,
He would have been he probably would have been a multi-attempt boss, I would have to imagine.
oh yeah, I mean he was a
'Cause
multi-attempt by the time I got to him because I all right, bro. I
we can't all
wait.
be energy shield builds, I guess.
He might have actually been the first pinnacle I did. I I said he was the third pinnacle, but that's because I did Arbiter of Ash and the Arbiter of Divinity,
I
and
mean,
then
those
I went
count.
to him.
Those are like the general game pinnacles.
Yeah,
You did
yeah.
quite a few attempts on Arbiter of Ash, I remember.
Oh yeah, and I did quite a few
I
attempts
was
on the Arbiter of Divinity, and then I did
uh,
quite a few attempts on the Bodoc. It's like, damn, the Bodoc puts the Arbiters to shame, and they farted on me. It's just crazy.
See, I mean, I need next league, next reset, I need to not play an energy shield character because my personal experience with the arbiters was just taking their cheeks. I don't think either killed me.
Bro, but like,
So
oh my god, finding out why it was so difficult for me after the
yeah.
fact was just so miserable. Like,
Oh, that's a whole fucking can of worms.
that is the whole can.
The weapon set passives.
To very, very quickly summarize it, the 24 points of each weapon set that you get, um, most builds just don't use them. But for the first time ever, I encountered a build that did, and it was the Fub Gun Ice Shot thing. Because like your number twos, you basically like put a bunch of mark buffs, and then with your Weapon set 1, you put a bunch of like just general damage things. Now, I had gone down paths that were supposed to be maybe just for weapon set 2 with my normal points, which is basically like -1 level every time I did that. Um, and then I just didn't spend the actual weapon set points, which is overall like -50 fucking levels, basically. 48
Yeah.
levels because you get 24 and 24. So, yeah, instead of like putting specifically the mark damage buffs or like the mark skill nodes on my weapon set 2, I just had them on all the time, which didn't affect my damage. So all those points I was putting towards it were basically just wasted. So you could make the argument I was effectively down probably around 60 levels at least in character power, unironically, fighting the pinnacles of the game. Like, Fubgun was doing it. Fubgun beat these bosses on day 1 in like 3 snipes. I went in on
Yeah.
like day 3, mind you. I'd call like I was not working these 3 days. I was free. So I was grinding all 3 of these days. I go in on like day 3 of the league, probably better gear than what he went in there with. And I make an and higher level, and I make an attempt at these bosses, and I get my shit fucked so hard. I get absolutely
Uh,
abused. Everything I do
some of
tickles
my
this guy.
favorite.
Oh god, and it was all on stream, gang.
Absolutely, those are my favorite stream days. I love to be a loyal Sir Package watcher on those days.
But I was like, I'm not going to bed till I beat the Arbiter of Divinity. Yeah, I was up till like 3 a.m. Just getting my whole gaped open wide.
Yeah, man, I need to
Oh,
play like an ethical Fub Gun build next league because like
yeah, yeah.
my ethical
Something
melee
weak like that.
homebrew was just face tanked all the arbiters. I don't know. It didn't really something light, you know.
Yeah. All right. And then we got Fate of the Vol, two or three nerfs this league later, and it's still pretty good. They keep adding more and
Yeah,
more Vol currencies to the game, which is just overall I think is just cool. Just more things that Vol can do and more like reasons to play it. Um,
yeah,
just in general. Um, yeah. I mean, Vol Temple is cool. It was the big topic last season. I don't even know if there's really that much to say. Vol beacons are Vol beacons. Vol Temple is Vol Temple. It drops a lot of shit, drops a lot of good shit. The beacons tend to not drop a lot of shit, but it is what it is. What I do like, though, and this has just been something that I notice. I don't even know if there's like a patch note that proves this or that says this, but Vol beacon animations, and I don't know if you felt this, they're like 5 times faster. Like if you clear the Vol beacon, the chest will pop out of the circle like almost immediately. When before it was like, oh, and then you can click on the chest.
yeah,
Bro, it get like
yeah,
I will clear the wave of monsters, and before I even like get my character to like walk up to the circle and into the circle to like be in range to click the chest is up. And that has made
yeah,
life so good because the chests not only, I mean, to be fair, they still don't fucking drop anything. And especially
yeah.
now where they kind of took away Vol Temple
The only thing it
currencies
could drop.
from it. So
Yeah,
like, yeah, it is what it is. But like they still don't drop anything, but at least I'm not completely walking past them because the chest is just there instantly. So in my
yeah,
absolute hopes and dreams, I'm still clicking on these things, being disappointed every time. But yeah, at least I'm clicking on them now. When there's just no point
yeah.
before. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Vol Temple? I know you're a Vol Temple enjoyer.
Oh man, Ball Temple. It was my first league mechanic. which is funny
To your
because
detriment.
later I found out that to my detriment, later I found out that there were Atlas points that give you an additional tablet when you're in a city, and that the Vol City mechanic, like the mechanic quest zone area, is the only guaranteed city in the entire game. So because
Apparently
I
not
did
for
it
you. For me,
first,
yeah.
I missed out. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I missed out on so much tablet juice by doing it first, but I feel like it made me like all of my money for my build, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
spent the first like probably the first entire week of the league was just Vol Temple. I didn't touch any other mechanic for like the first week straight. Super awesome. Farmed the fuck out of it. Got really comfortable with it. Did it all ethically. Never snaked once. Give me my no snake badge of honor.
This guy is not a
I got
snake.
some temple setups. True. I got some temple setups where I had like two T4 bronze works and like four tier 3 bronze works, and I was just printing that juicy vol currency worth like multiple divs at this point in the league. But back then they were still worth like 80 exalt a piece. So, um, a lot of money, a lot of money. Made a lot of money. Fought at Ziri. At Ziri's hot as fuck. I'm a little gooner,
Of course, of
and like
course.
she gets naked
I was
in the
only
intro of the boss fight. That's fucking awesome because she's hot.
when I joined you for
Um,
the Adziri fight the one time, I was only playing with one hand.
true, true. I was admiring her considerable assets and whatnot.
That's
Like,
true.
bold take, like this point of the podcast is for true intellectuals. There's not enough rule 34 for Adziri. It's ridiculous. I was literally farming the
Yeah, I haven't even
mechanic and
looked
I
it
was
up.
like, you know
Never looked it
what?
up before.
Yeah, I was farming the mechanic and I was like, you know what? I fancy a wank. This is one of the, like one of the nights after playing, and I was like, Queen Adziri, I choose you. She has like 34 pictures and they all suck. There's like one that's
Bro,
really good
that's
and they all suck.
that's tragic.
And so I was like, okay, here's my call to the PoE2 community from one fat balding gooner to the masses. More Queen Adziri art, please. Get on that. Anyway,
I don't
um,
know.
I mean, her drops are good. Her temple, like when you kill her and you actually open her treasury, I'm pretty sure it's coded to be guaranteed. I've never not gotten at least a divine from it.
Knocked
So
them
like
over.
that's really cool. Made me a lot of divines early on when divines were like really valuable because like that shit always drops a divine. And then my critiques why it's 8 out of 10. I haven't gotten an Adziri's communion yet, so that's kind of rude because that would be like 500 divs
It's
that I
true.
could just have. So kind of rude for that not for that not being in my pockets. I feel like Adziri before Adziri's communion was probably like just not rewarding enough, which would have been a critique of the patch. I think the reason it's actually 8 out of 10 is that I feel like there's like half of the rooms that are in the temple are actually like really low value and they just don't feel like they're worth investing in. I feel like there's two ways that people do Vol Temple. It's like as many bronze works as possible, blacksmiths, whatever you want to call them. It's that strategy, or it's the as many soul core rooms as possible to just like farm the valuable soul cores and get the there's like a currency item that boss drops that's also like a div every time. So like I don't know. It's basically just do blacksmiths or do soul core farm. In terms of like what you actually make your temple look like. So it kind of sucks because there's like a pretty big lack of actual room diversity in terms of strategies. So that's probably like -1 point. And then the other thing that -1 point to make it 8 out of 10 is that when you beat Adziri, it always drops a sacrificial regalia, which is like this armor, evasion rating, and energy shield chest. It uses all three stats and it requires all three stats to like be able to put on.
Yeah.
And it has mods from all three of those pulls, which means that 99% of them are complete pig filth trash shit from a butt. You'll never use it a day in your fucking life.
Yeah.
But it has this really cool implicit where it's +1 level to corrupted skill gems. And I think like the reason I find it a negative is I wish there was something I could do to influence sacrificial regalia drops a little bit more. Like if they add like an optional node that like sacrificial regalias roll strength modifiers more often, or strength dex and for like the options, so that if you want to use it just
Yeah.
because you want another +1 levels, because +1 levels is like king, but you're like strictly an armor guy, and then you roll like deflection rating, increase energy shield, whole bunch of fucking nonsense on your thing because it has access to all the mod pools. I just wish I could influence it a little more. Although I understand from a dev perspective, if they are more influenceable, it's the only chess piece to wear.
True.
That isn't a unique. So like I get that that's like scary, but yeah.
That is true. Um yeah. I mean that
Yeah.
hey, that covers
Yeah, that's fucking
all
it,
the
man.
individual mechanics. Um Spear Walker, we didn't really play it. Martial artist, I assume you
Yeah,
think it's
fucking
good.
hey, martial
Um
arts is cool. Yeah.
we got the final thoughts on like the multi-choice nodes, being able to complete like the entire tree but having multi-choice nodes. I think I really like the multi-choice node. I think this
Yeah.
is like I wasn't sure if I would end up liking it because I'm still a fan of PoE1 Atlas, but I think the PoE1 2 or yeah, the PoE2 one is a lot better now, and the multi choices have landed a lot better than what I thought. Um, although I'd still probably argue that I wish that there were more. Um, now the new expedition tree, like we said, it came out with like 6 multi-choice ones, and some of the other like individual league mechanic ones are like they have like 2 or 3, some 4 multi-choice nodes.
Yeah.
I wish they all had like a lot more individual like choice, a lot more multi-choice nodes, kind of like the Runes of Alder one does, but the expedition one does. But overall, just I'm a big fan. Definitely need to do more work on unique items, like I was saying, or like we were saying. Um, I think one of the final things, like the final thing, I kind of wanted to talk about was, which I think we're both going to have the same opinion on this, the Martyr of the First Edict. Pretty badass. No,
One of the coolest things in gaming history.
I think it's.
Straight up.
I wish
Like
there was
like
something for everybody else who sacrifices their character. Because
yeah,
like
go fuck yourself.
for the first guy, he's like, I bless you all with a passive skill point. But then for everyone
Yeah.
else, it's just like, I killed myself for the love of the game.
Hey, it's to
It's
be
like,
on the fucking leaderboard. You get a
I mean,
spot
I get.
in
I've never even seen the leaderboard though.
sacrifice history. Well, yeah, I mean you gotta like want to like search it out, I guess. But no, I mean they might expand on it. People have been talking about like it'd be cool if they made like a trophy room and the first martyr of every league will get like a statue of their character when it was sacrificed or something.
That'd be
That
cool,
would like
like a Hall
that
of
would
Fame or
like
something.
decorate, yeah, that would like decorate the area and whatnot. That'd be really cool.
I
I think they would be able to do that.
I think you can't do something for every person that kills themselves because there'd be too many. Like,
Yeah.
despite how hard it is to get to 100, and despite how pretty much almost nobody gets to 100 in a league, even like some grinders,
Yeah, there's still
there's still
hundreds right
enough
now.
people that get there that it would be ridiculous to say you get a skill point every time someone gets there. I think it'd be cool if there were
Yeah.
like breakpoints. Like the first guy gets there, everybody gets a skill point. Next, like and then milestones for every like 20 people who get there. And I'm not talking another skill point. I think that'd be a little too broken. But every 20 people after that, maybe, now hear me out.
You get a
Loot
transmutador.
box. Not and I'm not talking like a MTX loot box. Although that would be pretty badass. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just say that. First person who gets there, free passive skill point for everybody in the league. Every 50 people who kill themselves after that, or depending on how many there are. I'm trying to make it like, as reasonable as possible for the devs. Every 50 people, everybody will get a loot box. And if for some reason you are a turbo whale and you have purchased every reward possible in the loot box of the current league,
Me, by the way.
you'll just get 50 store points, whatever. And I know the game's already basically going to be like free to play and they get all their money from microtransactions. So fuck it. Maybe even every 100 people who sacrifice themselves. Something crazy like that. I just think that they could definitely expand on the system. If it wasn't for like an actual like real money buying thing like a loot box, you could do like every 25 people that kill themselves, you get to like, and the reason I said loot box is like you get to like spin a wheel, not really, but you get to go there and you get like, I don't know, a random thing, like a random currency, something, a div. Every 25 people who kill themselves, you can go there and get a div for yourself. It's like if 125 level 100s have killed themselves, everybody can go to the thing and grab 5 divs. That wouldn't break the bank. That'd be nice though. I think just a little reward for the people who come after the first person, other than just
For
being
those who
on the
come
leaderboard
after.
that that most people don't even see. Like they
Yeah,
can
I
be
mean,
one of the 25 people that got you a div. That'd be nice.
I think that the Martyr of the First Edict, it feels like one of those video game ideas that devs are always like, they tell stories when they're interviewed, like, oh, me and the boys in the dev room, we had this really cool idea. And then at some point, we just decided that we couldn't do it. We just arbitrarily were like, yeah, can't do that. And then every fucking fan of that game is like, no, why didn't you do that? That'd be so fucking cool. This feels like one of those ideas, and they were just like, yeah, just put it in the game.
Yeah,
It's like,
why not?
thank fuck. Thank fuck. I don't like I've heard so many of I can't name one specifically, of course, but I've heard so many sort of like interviews for popular games where they were like, yeah, we were gonna do this like fucking coolest thing ever.
But then
And
we
then we
decided that was the
decided that
stupidest
like
thing ever.
and then we decided it was the dumbest thing ever, so we just didn't do it. Why? What? Um I mean, I think even GGG themselves gave an example during the interview with Ziz where they were like, we also thought about like what we thought that the sacrifice altar was going to be was that it was going to basically like prestige your character, but you would be in the divine league where there were going to be like new base types, new items, new abilities, and like new shit in the game that like literally only existed in divine league, and you were going to get like more skill points than are possible in the game now or whatever. And like that was what they were going to be when you like martyred yourself at the altar. You were basically going to enter like the super league
I
for
know
super sweats.
I know
And then
Ziz
they were
said it
like,
cool.
nah, we shouldn't do that.
Like I know Ziz says that like he said like after they said that would be super cool. I think that would be cool for a league. Like the app like Path of Exile 2 Afterlife. And it's like they go into the game and they make it super like they basically take for a league the XP scaling of your character and they turn the fucking, what's it called, like the curve, the XP curve, and they like
Yeah.
flatten it significantly compared to what it is right now, and then say like, hey, it's a lot easier to get to level 100, but now you basically have the option to prestige your characters
Yeah.
and then go again, and then like the second time around you'll get like more options for character design, and then like your third time around, and let's say like the third one is the cap. Once you've reached 3, you're like the absolute like ascended, you've been like double ascended or whatever. um I think that'd be cool for a league. I definitely agree with the devs. I just would not like that in the game as like a main feature, because then it would take like the already like seemingly impossible task for people with fucking jobs to get to 100 and make it feel like a requirement to truly max the potential of your character, which is exactly what they said. They're like, we didn't want to make it feel like no matter what you do, your character is never finished. Like, we do want these stopping points in the game. So
Yeah,
I
but
do
it's
think that
cool.
it's cool that like you get to 100, you kill yourself, and it's done. But forever, for the rest of your life, if you log into your account, you go to your character slots, and one is taken up by a ghost. Like, one is
By a
taken up by a
martyr.
murderer. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I damn,
And hot take, I don't
I
know how
had
much
something to say.
money they make off of character slots, like actually how much money they make off of actually selling character slots to people other than like super streamers that make like 10 characters per league.
Yeah.
But like, I think if you 100 a character and it becomes a ghost, this might already be a thing. I don't know because I've never done it, obviously. But because that literal like dead character would be taking up a character slot, you should just get a free one. Like, that should be your account
Yeah.
reward for killing yourself.
Oh shit. That's what I was trying to say when we were talking about you mentioned how hard it is to get to 100 as a employed gamer anyway. Yeah, after I hit 97, I checked how much experience I would need for 98. You want to guess?
Is it in the billions?
It is. It's 37 billion experience.
Oh my god. How much was level 20 or level
Oh,
96,
it
which
was
only took you
34
a mere
billion.
46 or 48 playing hours?
It was 34 billion. So it went up 3 billion with this level.
Oh, yippee.
Oh, brother.
Man. Man, oh man.
Man, I don't like I know that I said I was gonna hit 100 as like
Yeah,
one of the
some people
things I
did
do
that in a
this
week.
league. I might need to like look at what Karn did and like copy it. Like I don't know. If it's actually like a replicatable thing, like I don't know. Um I don't have anything more to fucking say. We've
Yeah,
been talking
that's
for like 4 hours or something.
that's everything, in my opinion. In my
Yep.
thoughts.
Hey,
If we
hey,
missed
good league.
anything, we'll just do it again. I
Yeah.
I genuinely do not know how these people, like, I watch the podcast and I enjoy myself listening to them. But like, I just don't like, I don't understand how they're wrapping these things up in under 2 hours. Like, I just don't get it. How is
They
it
just
even
don't talk
possible?
about they just don't talk about as much as we do.
Like, they just skip over. I mean, I guess they just skip over 99% of everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like, our
that's just
two
really
episodes
how it
is
is.
like
Like one
predictions
of
on
the
how
episodes
everything
I
would be,
watched,
and then this episode is wrapping up everything.
yeah, like one of the episodes of one of the podcasts I watched is they did the review every mechanic thing, but that was the whole topic of the podcast.
Yeah.
So they did like the 6 mechanics and they said bye. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's just because we're comprehensive, you know.
yeah, comprehensive gamers, right? You come here when you want comprehensiveness.
Yeah. This got you through half a work shift, all right? You're welcome.
Good God. This got you through half a cocaine binge. All right,
You're welcome.
gamers. Thank you all for watching. I know thousands to millions of you probably made it to the end of this podcast. So if
Oh,
you do,
100%.
type in the comments. Um, I'm, I'm, I'm a little cutie. Not me. You. You.
Mm.
Say I'm a little cutie in the comments. Um, and I'll see you in the we'll see you in the next podcast. I or we or
Yeah, hey,
us.
like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
Serve package on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.